As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the fuck up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff, Booner, Lukas, and Gentry. We are back. And we are here October 24th, Thursday. Got some Thursday night football on. We got a lot of Lions to talk about. We need the Vikings to lose tonight. That'd be nice. They got to get it done, man. They got to get it done.
Back. Puka's back. Great for Lions fans. Like you said, you want Vikings to lose. And my fantasy team sitting at fucking 3-4 right now. Ayuk down. I had to trade AJ Brown. Puka's just been sitting on IR. Threw him in. I threw him in. I didn't care. It was either him, a hurt Puka Nacua, or hurt Juwan Jennings. It was one of the two. So, yeah.
This man rambling out. We start the show. His man's over here somehow gets to Juwan Jennings to start the show.
I mean, that's a tough call, though. Hurt Juwan or Puka. I mean, it's tough.
Hey.
It's tough.
I'm pumped up. Good Thursday, though. A lot happened today. Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams, he spoke. We got a statement from him. We're going to have a Titans beat writer join the show as well, Easton Freeze. Cannot wait for that at 8:15. So lots to get to, fellas. We'll get into more of the Lions-Titans discussion. I also am going to give out my impact players of the week, who I think will have a pretty big impact this week. Appreciate Ryan. We just became a Crunch member, so shout out to him.
Ryan.
Well,
Ryan Kincaid, not Dalton Kincaid's cousin or brother. I think I remember Ryan from Woodward Nights, and I think I had mentioned to him. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was him, though.
He's going to follow the show for a little while.
Yeah. I always said Dalton Kincaid's cousin, not Dalton Kincaid's cousin. I can confirm.
And we're also going to be joined by Mr. Caleb. So let's bring in Caleb.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? How are we feeling today?
You're doubling down after that performance yesterday with the hat, huh, Caleb?
I got to represent the boys. I got to do them. It's tough loss yesterday. Jeff, you did say yesterday that I hope nobody clips us saying 35-plus wins. I'm not going to comment on that right now. We'll see where the season goes. But, yeah, a tough loss yesterday for the boys.
Yeah. I did almost tweet out, and I wanted to do it, but this is where sometimes people are like, Booner, you're sometimes a loose cannon. Sometimes it can be disciplined. I thought in my head, I want to tweet out and say, hey, all those people who said 35 to 40 wins, like, how are we feeling after night one? Hey. But I will say, Caleb, I liked what I saw out of the JB Bickerstaff team. So I said, you know what, Booner, give it a couple weeks, and then if they lose 20 straight off the rip, then we can do that. I'm not going to do it, though.
Yeah, you can't go 82-0. I mean, you're going to lose
some credit for that.
But that's one. Yeah, no, you do. You do deserve some credit for that. But you can't lose a game where you hold Tyrese Halliburton, who might be on suck alert. He might just suck. I'll say that. He might be bad. Dude, he wasn't good in the playoffs last year. Dude,
he hit the dagger last night. Like, he wasn't – they literally rested that man. He was on the bench, it seemed like, for more than he was on the court. And then it was like, get crunch time. And who hit the shot to seal the game?
No, like 1 for 9, 4 assists. I mean, I don't know. We're all taking Cade over him, right? We're all taking Cade over him, right?
I mean, yeah, obviously. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, look at why Booner doesn't want to speak.
No, I mean, there's sometimes where, again, I choose not to comment on things. I'm getting better in my life at doing those sort of things. Sometimes I'm a loose cannon. But I go at it with the chat, sometimes they take a step back, relax.
I love it. Well, hey, real quick, got to mention this. Crazy. Sometimes wild news day. I mean, you see Josh Reynolds. I got shot twice today last week.
It was on Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
He was at a shot back of the head.
Apparently, I read the whole report. Apparently, they were at a strip club till like 2 a.m. and the guys that shot at them, like they were in the strip club. And then Josh and his friends left. They followed them and they were shooting like at the car they were in. And I guess they might have got hit. And then they got out of the car and started running. And that's when they called 911. And it's wild. So he's okay. But when I saw the news that he was shot in the arm and the back of the head, my instance was like, how is he like, what condition is he in? You know what I mean? And apparently he's fine.
He was at practice today, they said. Like, that was the report, was he was at practice. He was in the building. And he had like minor injuries and was getting like minor treatment. I don't know if he practiced, but like I saw like people tweet out like he is at practice, like they could see him. That was just what I saw on Twitter. But Twitter, sometimes I do on Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, all the jokes about him dropping all those balls, like put that aside as a human being, like that's terrible. So hopefully, glad he's okay. Glad he's okay. It's messed up. Saw that today. And then you have Jameson Williams coming out with an announcement.
Big news.
In commenting on the suspension that he received, he has chose not to appeal. So no appeal from Jameson Williams. He's just going to take it and basically just accept the suspension. Not that, I mean, he had no choice, but he could have appealed and potentially, if there was an argument, maybe he could have got down to like a game, but he's chosen to not appeal and accept the suspension. And here's his statement. I want to read to you guys. You probably have already seen it, but we're going to read it now for kind of the first time. Here's his statement, official statement. Make sure we zoom in here. Okay, so Jameson Williams' statement. He says, this week I was notified by the NFL that I have been suspended for a violation of the performance-enhancing substance policy. The news came as a complete surprise that I'm still trying to understand. I don't take supplements or vitamins, and I'm overly cautious about even taking over-the-counter medicine. At no time have I ever taken something in an attempt to cheat or look for an unfair advantage. I understand that I am responsible for everything that goes in my body, and I have to take accountability, in this instance. I have nothing but love and respect for this game, my teammates, coaches, the Lions organization, and the city of Detroit. It is disappointing to accept this suspension, and it will hurt me to be away from the team as they prepare this week. So out of the respect of my teammates, this will be the last time I address this matter. And then he just signed JMO at the bottom, which is like the most James.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I don't know. When I read it and I made a video on it today, as soon as it came out, I want to give a ton of credit to JMO for the statement in that letter, which again, I don't care if I saw a comment like, we don't even know if he wrote it. I don't care if he wrote it. I really don't. But whoever it was, I'm sure he had to have read it and been like, okay, I'm cool with that. The taking accountability part, like I have to be aware of what I put in my body. Like that is the biggest. That's what we talked about when it happened. Like at the end of the day, he has to kind of accept that, you know what, you are in control and responsible about what you put in your body. The other stuff, like the semantics and the intent of it, I don't give a shit. I mean, I doubt JMO, and I don't think anyone thinks this, but this man did not do this on purpose. All right, no one's saying he did this to have an unfair advantage or cheat. I mean, that would be black. That is not Jameson Williams. That is not his character. But the biggest thing to me that showed a lot of growth was the part in there that said, you know what, I have to take this on the chin because I have to be accountable in what I put in my body. And he's 100% correct. So moving forward, no suspensions, JMO, please. The Lions need you on the field, but he'll be out the next 2 games, fellas.
It's one of those things too. Like, one thing I like that he put in the statement was like, "Hey, I'm not addressing this anymore," because I did see like some beat reporters and some people mention on Twitter that in the building they're like Dan. Even you could tell Dan was a little like hated the fact that you're in a game week in week 8 and you're having to talk about something like this, and it's just like when you're going on you're on the path to the Super Bowl, like like just minimal distractions, you don't want those in your way, and having to have him out for 2 weeks, you could tell Dan was a little probably like, we shouldn't be answering these questions in week 8. Like this shouldn't be a thing. So I think that's why JMO, like I respect the fact that he said, hey, this is fully on me. That's the biggest thing. Like, hey, take full responsibility. Like that was the thing all week that we talked about was you have to know what you're putting in your body. You have to know all of these things. And like, it's such a weird situation because this just doesn't pop up for everyone. Like how many people on the Lions have we seen this come back on? And it's like, so like at that point, it's like you have to take responsibility. I think there's been one person in the last like 15 years or something that has ever tested or appealed, that tested positive and appealed it and got the appeal taken away. So I'm guessing they looked at it and they said, hey, it's not that big of a deal. Let's just get the 2 games out of the way. And we're probably just going to waste time and this appeal when one person over this amount of time has ever actually won the appeal. Because if you do the appeal and you take so long, like say, okay, you play this week, you're out versus Houston and Green Bay. There's no reason to take it longer. You might as well just get this thing out of the way, let them go beat Tennessee, and hope that versus Green Bay you're able to put a game plan together that you can beat them without JMO. I just like Jeff, what you said, like it just like he took full responsibility. Awesome, just can't happen again. Like you can't have it. Like he was like, I don't take vitamins and I don't take supplements. It's like, yeah, he had to have tested positive for something, right? Like there had to have been something that accidentally got put in his body. I'm sure he actually does know, and I'm sure they told him what it was, so he was able to backtrack and be like, this is what it was. So he's able to avoid it again, whatever it was.
But he doesn't have to share that, you know.
I did see a lot of people on Twitter that were like, you should share it because it gives, and so people stop speculating. Guys, this isn't like a PED to where it's like a drug to where he took to. It's a supplement. Like it could be as simple as like, I don't know, like some type of Dayquil, an off-brand Dayquil that he took that had something in it that's illegal in the NFL. Like it, literally, guys, it could have been a Viagra. Like I saw people putting that out there on Twitter today. Like Chad Ochocinco, I saw the clip of him being like, I used to play, and when I took Viagra, I would take Viagra and play because it helps me out. Could have been something as simple as that. Like it could have literally been anything, and it's not anything bad that he took. It was just some sort of supplement or probably a pill that I could go to Kroger right now or Meijer and just go pick it up for $10. Like that's probably all it was. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I love how he put a statement out and said, I'm not addressing this anymore. This is done. I'm going to take this two-game suspension right on the chin, and we're going to move on. And I'm going to be back and ready to go for Houston. So I love that fact. And when Dan says he's going to climb back up that rope, boys, hey, J-Mo is going to climb back up that rope. You're going to have him in Texas versus Houston. In Houston. That man's going to go for 150 in Houston. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, nothing like balling out with Honolulu Blue chewing, Boone. Never know. Never know. Could be. That's a very odd thing to be like, you know what? About to go play a football game. Let me pop a Viagra. Let me pop.
Ocho did it.
I know. I believe
Crazy.
you, but it's just the most bizarre, like, that's your go-to. I mean, whatever works, but
maybe he heard Ocho did it and was like, I want to try it, and then did it, and then just got popped for 2 games.
He's like, out there, so he used to be want to be walking around there bricked up like 30.
Yeah, just cooking DVDs bricked up. I mean, it's just
I don't know. I would love to pick Ocho's brain and figure out why he did that. Like what was behind it. I didn't listen to the full clip, but
he's talked about it. What do you think of this whole thing, Caleb? I don't think you've been on air to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, you know, it is disappointing and frustrating because I mean, he did own up to it. That was good to see. But I mean, this is the second time. This is the second suspension. You know, whether you think like the gambling one was stupid, which it was, it's against the rules in the NFL. And you know, this one we don't really know what he took, like you guys said. So this one, they could come out and say what he took, and it could be something really dumb and something that someone takes every single day, like a Motrin or something. And, you know, but it's against the rules. But, you know, this week, Tennessee, we don't necessarily need them for this week, but next week is the week I'm worried about, in Green Bay. But like you guys said also, that this isn't, you know, J-Mo wasn't taking anything on purpose to make himself better. That's just not his character, and he's going to be back, and he's going to be ready to go come. What's the game after Green Bay? Is that's Houston?
Yeah.
He'll be ready to go in Sunday Night Football. But yeah, it's frustrating, but he'll be back. I think this is the last. I think this is the last time something like this happens with J-Mo.
Yeah. I agree there. I don't know. Again, I don't know what it is. I know people in the chat were like speculating. I don't want to even speculate what it is. It could be something so marginal. Like, you know, I don't know the rules. I didn't study the rule book to know like what's not allowed. Like I see people mentioning like Adderall. I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I mean, you'd be a fool if you're on air being like, it's Adderall. You know, like no one knows. And honestly, J-Mo has no right to tell anyone, or he has every right to not tell anyone. You know, like
people are just so curious. People want to know. People are like, I have to know. You know, we really don't have to.
Culture. We want to know everything about it. I mean, we know enough about these athletes. Like if I'm him, I don't have to tell you guys what it was. You know, like. I really don't. No matter how stupid it was, if it was a freaking boner pill, dude. I mean, who knows? Who knows? He doesn't have to share that information. All right,
It's not like it's just not one of these major things. Like I think the biggest storyline with it is just like you can't be suspended for another 2 games. Like, and I think J-Mo knows that. Like by his statement, by Dan's statement, like these guys know it, and like no one else. Like how many other Lions players are getting this happened to it. So like J-Mo knows like this is a situation that he can't let slip through the cracks. Like he has to be able to like know what you're putting in your body as much as he probably tries to. And these guys try to. You can't have any slip ups because one slip up in the NFL, guess what? You lose 2 games in your career.
All right.
We got dudes to fill in though, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and I see. I mean, I see Steve Wilds. Let's see what Allen Robinson can do. I mean, Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
I don't know why
ARA. Hey, we talked about it yesterday. He might not go out there and get 5 for 100. Give me 2 for 20, Allen. Give me 2 for 20. I don't even care about 2 for 20. How about just go out there and just let me see a couple lead blocks from him off the edge for Amon Ra or for Jameer Gibbs or something. How about that? That would be something. I'll tell you what. By the way, too, the Lions players did interviews today. Did you guys see who got interviewed in the locker room?
No.
2 players.
No.
Amon Ra St. Brown, Trevor Nowoski.
Oh.
Trevor.
Hey, first interview I've seen on the YouTube page. I watched the whole thing. He's getting better. And then they asked AG about him. AG, hey, this man is getting a roll.
Trevor Nowoski, their stock's rising, huh? We got to do our Detroit Lions stock market segment. Maybe we get a little Trevor Nowoski.
Oh yeah,
maybe we're talking.
We should do that like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Because that Trevor Nowoski stock.
Sky, that was a penny stock.
Yeah.
I'm already at this point. I bought so much like a year, 2 years ago. I'm a billionaire right now. Like,
what if it's like Dogecoin though? Maybe it's Dogecoin. Maybe
dude, I took a whole
rises,
trip to Miami just off Dogecoin in my lifetime. Imagine being able to say that. I can. None of you guys can. Dogecoin paid for a fully paid Miami week trip in Miami for me.
Is that when you ran into Little John?
No, that was Panama City Beach. Great time. Little John's great guy, man. Great dude.
I used to have one of those apps, and there was this like coin called Cardano, and I bought probably like over time, like every week I would take like $10 of my paycheck, and I'd like deposit it, and I would take it, and I just forgot about it. And then I went back and I opened up like my wallet, like the book, and I went back like 2 months ago, and I had over like $134,000 that I could have pulled out, and I just never noticed because it crashed again. I was sick.
That's tough, dude. That one's tough.
That's gotta be
it ain't going nowhere. Like I was basically just using it as like an emergency like account. Like, hey, it'll slowly go up, but like for like a 2 days, that thing just went sky
high. Those stocks during COVID are like right as COVID was like towards the end. It was. Those were crazy, man.
I don't even spend too much time on it. Like I don't even want to like make it feel worse. I just don't. You know, I feel bad.
Bar, moved out the crib.
yeah. 100 could have got you out of Toledo, man. I mean, that 100K, that's crazy. Crypto, yeah. I mean, that stuff. I got Dogecoin thing. I was like, oh yeah, I'll invest, and then it crashed. So I was late.
Got to be smart. As soon as it popped up. As soon as I had like a 800,000% increase in profit, pulled out. I don't care what's happening. Oh, I've got a couple thousand to go to Miami. All right, I'm going. See you guys.
I always stayed away from it. I'm just not smart enough to keep up with all that, like the Bitcoin and all that. It's just not. It's not my forte. It's not my forte.
I'm the dumbest guy in the world. Somehow.
Hey, come on, bro. Don't sell yourself short here. Don't sell yourself short now. Come on.
Anyone can figure this thing out.
Pete Prisco's still out there, Boone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
I got tagged in a post. The other day.
I saw. Did you read the comments? Like the other comments that were under, bro? He gets shredded.
Wasn't that Coach?
It was. Yeah, it might have been Coach actually. Yeah, Pete Prisco was just live on air, just saying Detroit Lions need to go get Max Crosby, and he was pushing for it. And I hate Pete Prisco. I hate Pete Prisco. He might be the worst guy in media. Had me sold. Go get Max Crosby, Detroit. He said, hey, you go all in.
You and Pete were like on the same page?
Only for that one time. No other times. He's a Packers fan.
That's like that meme at the handshake. That's Pete. That's Pete Prisco and Booner during this time. After this, it's over. All right. Well, in a couple of minutes, we're going to have Easton on to talk about the Tennessee Titans, which, guys, by the way, injury report is out, at least for this week. So I'm going to show some of it. And I know, we had some guys that were banged up last week, but now we kind of have more of an update here. Let me show you guys, because one of the guys on here, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little concerned about. Because it is a common theme over this guy's career. So here's this. Let me get this out of the way so we don't black out.
This might be the best practice or injury report that we've had all season, though, outside of the one.
Yeah, but the only thing I don't like, and we'll see, but Josh Pascal's dealing with an illness, so that's unfortunate. But he hasn't practiced all week. But Taylor Decker, I don't worry. Like the rest thing, whatever. Christian Mahogany, it's fine. Levi, rest, that's fine. Frank Ragnow, rest, that's fine. And Kevin Zeitler, full practice. So that's great news. The only one that's concerning, I guess, would be Josh. Like, hopefully he feels better, because remember the Brian Branch thing? He was sick and he didn't play. So hopefully Josh can get back out there.
Everyone practiced today besides Josh Pascal. The whole team practiced.
He's the only one. It is a good injury report. I mean,
Thursday, just no practice and then full. It's just like everyone's good to go besides Josh Pascal. I wonder, the doc's in the chat right now. Maybe Doc, maybe you could tell what the illness is. What's going on? A report, Booner says Jameson Williams needs Viagra to get up for football. I did not say that. False report. Hey, one might say clickbait.
Hey, you're staying in reality, Booner. You stay in reality.
Booner,
I would like to know, the doc, if you're listening, what's going on with illness here, because it is kind of worrying that.
And the thing Sunday, I want to know,
D-line's already beat up.
The thing I want to know is, when's Iffy getting back? I know Iffy, Steve says Iffy's still on IR. That's what I want to know. The whole thing with Iffy, because he was a 4-game. He was out for 4 games, and it's been like 4 games. I mean, isn't it? Maybe 3.
I'd imagine we'd even.
Let me check.
The week leading up to him playing, he's going to practice probably a week before he actually gets going. So if we haven't seen him now, it's probably. And this is something they probably ask Doc to get a better question on, or better insight on. But I doubt a guy like Doc knows right now. I haven't heard a peep. About
this.
I haven't either.
The reason we haven't heard anything is because, guys, he got put on IR. It looks like here I see an article. I believe an article on September 28th. It looks like, so that would have been right before the Seattle Seahawks game. So remember, he played 3, or he wasn't put on the IR for the first 3 weeks, and then they put him on IR. So when you go on IR, it's a minimum of 4 games. So that's Seattle, Dallas, Minnesota, and Tennessee. So we probably won't hear anything about Iffy Melifonwu until next week after the Tennessee game. So that's why he's still in that period. Okay. He's in that 4-game period. And John McGroon just said today was the first time we saw him on the sideline with trainers. So he's back in the building, just IR. He's still on IR until probably till Monday or Tuesday would be when they're able to kind of go back, and that 4-week period is up.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm most curious about because of what he brings in terms of getting after the passer. I mean, they need some juice, and I think that's the guy that they're excited to get back just for that reason. I know he's been banged up, but hey, if he can give any slight flash of what he showed last year, you get a damn good player.
Especially if you have to move like Brian Branch to nickel at sometimes to try and get more blitzes and try and get more pressure on the quarterback, or even Iffy. I mean, honestly, remember how many sacks Iffy had in that 4 or 5 game stretch? I think he ended with 4.5 or 5 sacks in that stretch of football. Just to get more pressure on a quarterback to where it's you could put him in. And you're able to do so many different things with him. He's a big body safety who can get to the quarterback. They love to do that. AG loved that last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I cannot wait for him to get back. Jay-Z even said Jeremy Reisman as well. So Doc, Jeremy reporting it. He's on the sideline. That's good news. Josh, maybe not as worrying this week. I mean, you guys ever? I did some research on the Titans. I haven't watched a single snap of Titans football, but you've seen some of the clips come out. That offense, Calvin Ridley leads their team in yards with $180 or something ridiculous. It's probably 200 yards. Their offense is not bad is an understatement. I feel it's terrible, absolutely terrible. I don't even know if we should. Who cares? I mean, they could have all rookies out there, and and that's disrespectful, but they could probably get it done. This offense, they're not going to score more points than the Lions. There's 0 chance. Even if the Tennessee Titans scored 28 points, the Lions are scoring 48.
I want to see how many points the Tennessee Titans have scored total this year compared
it's honestly
4-game stretch for the Lions.
I don't know. I don't know a scenario in which they don't cover the line 11.5. I don't see it. Like they cover that
34.
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect the Tennessee Titans right now because I know we got a beat, coming on pretty soon here. And everybody's saying, that this has all the makings of a trap game, blah blah blah. No, the fuck it doesn't. I mean, we're gonna blow the brakes off this team. Like you said, Jeff. In what world does this? Even if our defense doesn't play well, their offense stinks. In what world does their offense keep up with the Detroit Lions offense? I think they cover that 11.5. They could go up to 14.5. And
do we move the line? Should we go like 20.5 and hit it at like plus 500?
That'd be awesome. That'd be a cool thing to do, Booner. I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah, that.
Hey,
to put this into perspective, I just did the math. The Tennessee Titans all year. Yeah, I'm terrible at math, dude. So I'm kind of proud about how fast I turned this around. They scored 87 points total all year. Between weeks 5 and 6, which was the Seahawks and Cowboys, the Lions scored 89 points. So in 2 games, the Lions offense has outscored the Tennessee Titans all year long. And they just traded away D-Hop. And they're just going to Mason Rudolph now, which might help them. But my God, like Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard, no. I like Tony Pollard as a football player, but as an RB1, absolutely
it's
not.
Tough.
Absolutely. And they don't even know like who they want to hand the ball off to. Like they have no identity on offense. Brian Callahan, an offensive coach who played with Joe Burrow or coached with Joe Burrow and that whole offense, he has no clue what to do with this offense. Not one. I
don't think anyone would know what to do with this offense.
At least if you know you're going to be bad and you got bad quarterback play, run the ball.
Yeah,
but they don't even want to do that.
The only thing with this team is Ben said, I think it was yesterday, and shout out to Doc. The Doc asked good questions. I don't think he asked this one, but I keep hearing the Doc's voice pop up in press conferences and player interviews. I hear Doc. There's a video we're gonna play later today, or I think Doc asked the question. We got something on Amon-Ra. But Ben had mentioned, he was like, and I was kind of shocked. He was like, this is probably the best defense we're going up against all season. So like offensively, at least on our end, like I think our offense is going to be fine, but like we've gone up against beat up Dallas defense, a couple defenses that are probably pretty sketchy. To Ben Johnson's point, this probably with the players that they have on their defense, you're probably looking at the best defensive team that we've seen to date. So I'm interested to see what Ben. I have full faith in Ben that he's going to go out there. I'm just interested to see how he approaches things with all the personnel that they have and all of that. Because there are some absolute dudes on this defense, guys. Like there are some dudes that can make plays. And then without JMO, honestly, guys, it's a good warm-up before Green Bay for this offense. Like it's actually, you're going to win this game. It's a really good warm-up for them to get a good feel versus a really good defense. Like, hey, how are we going to look without JMO going into Green Bay? Like, we're going to get a feel for this.
Yeah, I honestly, like, and to your point about the offense, like their offensive line, their JC Latham, the rookie, hasn't been awful. Like he's been actually decent, but they can't figure out the right tackle. Like they have tackle issue with the right tackle issues. Their interior, they have is it Skronsky? Right?
Yeah, Skronsky.
Yeah, that's who they drafted top 10. Out of what was he? Notre Dame, I believe. Northwestern. That's who it was. Yep, thank you. They haven't been great in terms of protecting whoever's back there. If it's Will Levis or so, I think this could be an opportunity for whoever's on the defensive line to go out and have a pretty good day. Like I think Mason Rudolph's going to fold like a lawn chair under pressure. So this defensive line this week, it's a good opportunity for them to kind of get back, at least rebound from last week. It seemed like Sam Darnold had a ton of time to throw. This is a good opportunity. They have a worse offensive line, worse quarterback. Like I like Brian Callahan as a play caller, but that dude has chicken shit to work with. So like I can't.
He literally has nothing to work with.
The dude is so yeah. The Lions not only going to cover 11.5. Yeah, they might even cover. I mean, hell, I like the 14.5 honestly. So it's. I mean, it's going to get
especially at Ford Field. Like we've seen games versus like a good Jags team a couple years ago where it felt like this could be a trap game. Like to Caleb's point, like this isn't a trap game, but like it feels like it could. Like when you have the setup of coming off that high and then you have the Packers the next week, it's like all right, this is the setup. But like this Tennessee team's so bad, and we've seen Dan Campbell teams in trap games win by 50. Like we've seen them come into these games and just be like, we're running you off the football field, especially if it's in front of the home crowd and versus a team like this. Like, have you ever seen the Lions with Dan Campbell the last 2 years drop a game like versus a bad team at home?
No.
I don't think we have. It's only been like really good teams that you've been in a battle with.
Yeah, if this week was Arizona, I think you could call that a trap game. Like if it's a team like that, this might be disrespectful to Tennessee, but I'm not going to say it. Yeah, it's this team. The Lions are just light years ahead of Tennessee personnel wise. Honestly, I think the coaching staff is much better. That's one thing I want to ask. Just Tennessee fans is kind of how they felt about firing Matt Vrabel, because I mean Mike Vrabel, because I feel like Mike Vrabel put together a pretty good culture there. I know it was constant years of just 9-7 and mediocrity, but I think he was going to figure it out at some point, and they just kind of kicked him to the curb. Disrespectful.
They were making AFC championship games with Ryan Tannehill. And I understand that the AFC looked differently at the time that it was, but for him to do that, I think speaks all for itself. Mike Vrabel is a guy that should be coaching in the NFL right now. Like if Mike Vrabel were to be hired, he'd be a top half of the league coach. And I think he kind of got blackballed out of there. And I wouldn't want to coach in Tennessee either after he made it clear, we do not want to trade A.J. Brown. Then you trade A.J. Brown and draft Treylon Burks. That was your replacement. So Tennessee's a shitstorm right now. I know they got a new GM, new coach right now. That's great. That's fine. It'll be nice for them in a couple of years, maybe. But for the time being, they're dog shit as far as an organization goes offensively. They're all right defensively, but the Lions are just going to take advantage of them.
Well, real quick, I just want to add that their defense is number one in total defense, but they're almost last in the league in takeaways. They have 3 takeaways on the year, so they don't take. I think
it's just because they have absolute dudes on that defense.
They got Landry, they got Simmons, so they have 2 good pieces on the defensive line. But the defense, I mean, they've been playing well. They have, again, we say this, have they faced a team an offensive team like this? And have they faced this offensive line like this? They have not. So even though they've been very good defensively, they just haven't. I see Snead. Yeah, Snead's been.
Andre Diggs now too.
Is Snead out for this week?
So let me pull this up here. Let me pull something up for you real quick.
That's massive if he is.
Let me get something for you here.
He's out of practice this week.
So you guys can pull up my screen. Let me know when you guys have it up.
Yep, we're good.
So you guys see here, this is the Titans. I mean, you see the Lions down there, but the Titans ones. Jerome Baker obviously just got traded there. Didn't practice today. Probably won't. Jalen Duncan did not practice. Calvin Ridley, no practice. Jeffrey Simmons. He had a rest day on Wednesday, so that doesn't really mean anything. Full practice today. L'Jarius Sneed, back-to-back, no practice. Quad injury. Quad. Will Levis, limited practice. Tajay Spears, limited. Tavondre Sweat, limited as well with the hit. That's a big piece too. You guys. Tavondre was a Booner Path guy during the draft, and he's a little injured. He's been good this year too, by the way. But their defense, defensively, if they don't have L'Jarius Sneed, Tavondre Sweat potentially, it'll be interesting. L'Jarius, that's a big one, especially with this Lions team with the weapons we have.
Yeah, I did not know L'Jarius Sneed has been out all week. I know some people in the chat were he hasn't been playing well, but that's still a dude. So, it is someone to still kind of pay attention to there. But again, that is big. I see people in the chat. Rams just responded with a TD. Kyron Williams
passing touchdown too. Wasn't even a rushing. Kyron Williams catches a passing touchdown.
I wonder how many straight games it's been with Kyron having a touchdown. I know ETN said
I think it's 9 or 10. I think it's 9 or 10. I think today would be 10.
Though.
Wow. Yeah, that's big time.
Right back. He's still ain't better than Jameer though. So I'm saying.
All right, well let's welcome in our guest because we have, and shout out to him, man. Different time zone, he still made it work. All right, that's on me.
Let's go.
On me. I fucked up. I'll raise my hand. All right, that's on me. Central time zone.
Hey, Jeff, why don't you be better? All right,
I got to be better. But Easton,
what Dan Campbell do?
Yeah, exactly. Easton Freeze. He covers the Titans, and he's a beat reporter that covers the Titans for A to Z Sports. Does some great work. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Easton Freeze. Easton, how you doing, my man?
Fellas, you like my studio here, my car, the lot of the restaurant that I'm at. Listen, sorry for the visual here. Sorry for I'm sure the audio is real special.
No, you're fine.
It's actually really good.
And you know what? The time zone thing, it happens to the best of us. And you know what? We make it work. So no worries.
Yep. No, Easton's a dog. All right, we got that. Check that box. Easton, I got to ask you, we're talking about this matchup. All right, the Titans. Can you give us an update on some of the guys that might not be available this week? L'Jarius Sneed, we just saw, did not practice. Will Levis, limited participation. Can you give us an update on maybe some key guys that could play, could not play?
Sure. Do you guys hear all the air horns? What's going on?
No, you're good.
No, you're good. You're
okay,
good.
I didn't know if that was a thing or okay. That's crazy. All right. Sure. Does it just go forever? What?
No, we can't hear it. You're good.
Yeah,
it's gone now. Okay. Whatever. All right. Yeah. Updates. So, quarterback. Let's start there. It's going to be Mason Rudolph this week. I have that on good accord. Haven't really published that anywhere, but I'll just give you guys a little sneak peek into what we're going to find out tomorrow when we talk to Brian Callahan. It's going to be Mason Rudolph this week. He just needs another week, and this is a back-to-back road trip for the Titans that is really tough for a team that's struggling at the Bills, at the Lions. Doesn't make sense to get him back in there yet. So it's going to be Mason Rudolph now. Whether or not you think that makes your job easier or harder is depending on who you're asking. L'Jarius Sneed, that's an interesting one. I don't have any information on that one besides the fact that he has not been in practice this week. He's a veteran. He's somebody that, could not practice all week and then decide that he's going to play on Sunday. We'll know more about that tomorrow midday. And then some other guys. I'm trying to think who else is on the injury report. T'Vondre Sweat, the standout rookie. I don't expect him to be an issue. Not really anybody else big that is questionable this week off the top of my head. The 1B running back, Tajay Spears, he's definitely a TBD guy. Not sure that it's going to matter. Tony Pollard certainly playing really good ball, so with or without him, that shouldn't be that big of an issue. But that's who comes to mind.
Easton, I want to just bring up offensively. I think that's your guys' defense there in Tennessee has been extremely good this season, but just offensively, obviously on our end, we've lost Aiden Hutchinson. Josh Pascal has missed practice all week with an illness. Marcus Davenport out, John Kaminsky. We've lost everyone on this defensive line. Where do you see just offensively, if there was a way the Titans to kind of get something going and keep up with this Lions offense and kind of stay on track with them? How do you see that getting done? What weapons do you think need to step up? Can Mason Rudolph keep up with the Lions offense? How do you see that game plan working out offensively on Sunday?
Yeah, you've lost all those guys, and that sucks long term. This week it's not going to matter. I'm not a definitive guy. My favorite thing about the NFL, and I talk about it all the time, is that it's an any given week league. The beauty of it is that anybody can beat anybody at any given time. It really is the world's greatest reality TV show. But there are some exceptions. This is an exception. The Lions are gonna kill the Titans. It just is the way that it is. The Titans defense will probably put up a good fight. To your point, they are a genuinely good unit. And if you paired them with a strong offense, they'd be a team that we'd have an interesting conversation about. But offensively right now, this team is still just really figuring it out. And the defense, I expect to probably put up a fight. Listen, the Titans. So at A to Z, I do a pregame, mid halftime, and then a postgame show. And we have had, I think, of the six games they've played, I think 5 of them at halftime, the Titans have had a lead. And so we've done a show talking about the Titans being in the lead, and then it's really fallen apart down the second half. So genuinely won't be surprised. The Titans are well within range or tied or even leading the game at halftime. But every week it's not mattered. It falls apart eventually. And that's just in large part the defense just not being able to sustain that level of play all game on the field all the time kind of deal. Now with the Lions, fellas, I'm not trying to pump you up too much, but I watch a lot of tape. I watch the entire league. They are the best team I've seen on tape this year. I think that I don't think there's any team in the NFC at this moment that's particularly close to the Lions. I think that they're playing on a different level right now, which is super cool. And they're the team that my whole life, just personally, I've been rooting for in the NFC because my mom and her whole family is from Michigan. And so it's most Thanksgivings, for me, it's been just sitting around really sad relatives. And recently it's been sitting around really excited relatives. So that's super cool. And I love the Lions are like a super feel good story. So awesome time to be a Lions fan. But to your question, which I've vamped on here long enough, if the offense were to figure it out, it would be because the bones of this offense that Brian Callahan has installed are good. The scheme is working. It is getting guys open. I mean, like Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, these guys aren't slouches. They are good NFL receivers. When you watch the tape, they're open. The Titans have a trio of genuinely talented tight ends. And then we know Tony Pollard's got a swag back this year. So, like, weapons-wise, they've got the dudes. And then they've got a really young offensive line that has not been good. But what we wanted to see with the Titans, because they're coming from the depths of hell offensive line-wise, is every week just getting better. And that has been the case so far. So that's a good thing. And each week they are getting better and better. And I'd imagine against the depleted Detroit defensive line, they may look good this week as well. I still don't think it'll matter. But if it does, it's going to be Mason Rudolph playing a career game. It's going to be the scheme finally just clicking. It's kind of that voodoo situation where we've seen teams in the past with new offenses or a lot of new pieces, like it takes a while, and then just for some reason it clicks one week. And maybe this is that week. I really doubt it, but maybe it is. And I think the Titans' path to victory in this game, a very, very narrow path to victory, involves a lot of help from the Lions, and just Jared Goff having one of those Jared Goff games out of nowhere. He's been so good this year. I'm not anticipating it, but that's kind of my feel for the game.
Great stuff, Easton. Appreciate you joining the show as well. You just mentioned the depleted Detroit Lions defensive line. And everyone in Detroit, everyone across America, if you pay attention to football, know that that's the case. But there has been some rumors, especially with Terrell Williams now in Detroit, that one of those front seven guys for the Titans and Harold Landry could be on the move this deadline. One, do you think it's likely that he gets moved? And two, do you think there's a possible link that he gets moved to the Lions?
Sure. I mean, on paper, it makes the most sense, right? Losing Aiden Hutchinson, which is so painful, and then the connections there with Coach T, it makes a lot of sense. It all depends on how desperate the Lions are internally, really, because I don't think the Titans are averse to selling him, but they aren't in fire sale mode in the sense that they're just, this is not a blue light special. They're not giving away guys. And so Landry is under contract. He's a relatively movable piece because while he is under contract longer than just this season, there's a built-in out where a team that were to trade for him this year would essentially have a 1-year rental guy that they could easily move on from next year for basically no harm. I don't see them moving him for anything less than a day 2 pick, though. So if the Lions have a 2 or a 3 that they're willing to give away for a genuinely talented edge rusher, then it could happen. But I don't know. Maybe I think you guys might have a better feel for that than I do in terms of whether or not the Lions really feel desperate right now to go get a guy that is really playing good ball right now. I mean, it would not be a fleece job for the Titans to get a 25 third or a 26 second for Landry. That'd be market value. Would be an even trade. I just don't know if they feel like they have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. What's up, Easton? I just got to ask you real quick about Will Levis. I know he's not playing this week, but what are your obviously kind of a disappointing second year for Will Levis? He balled out at Kentucky. Day 2 pick. I think he fell to you guys. I was high on Will Levis coming out of Kentucky. Has that ship sailed, or is that someone you think the Titans are gonna stick with, or do you think they're gonna go after a quarterback in this draft, which is kind of a weak quarterback draft? So, do you think Will Levis is part of their future plans?
Does he stink, Easton? Does he stink?
I mean, this year he has stunk. So, just in terms of like the production this season, he has stunk. Whether or not he's always and forever going to stink, I don't know. And I've talked to some folks in the building. I've had some private conversations that I won't divulge the details of. But in terms of the ship sailing on them continuing to let him play this season, it has not. They're going there. I mean, this team has been steadfast in their belief in letting this season be a trial for him And by season, I mean the season until the end of the year. So I don't, and that's something they said publicly, and then I've pushed that privately via text, via call. That genuinely is how they feel. They're going to sink or swim on the Will Levis ship, and that makes sense, right? Just in terms of the long-term health of this team from a process standpoint. Why would you not live or die by Levis? Because you get what you need going forward either way. If he works, you have your franchise guy, and if he doesn't, you're set up for the next situation. If Mason Rudolph's going to win you more games than Levis down the stretch, what does that provide you besides slightly less depressed fans this year? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And so they're rocking with Rudolph right now because Levis is legitimately injured. You've seen stuff about is this a soft benching? I think it's a convenient side effect of the fact that he's hurt. Is that, I'm not going to divulge the specific details, but I will say that I have had conversations with maybe the highest ranking coach on this team about how maybe this little break for him will be a nice reset. And so that's a nice little side effect, but it's not that they're doing it because of that. He is legitimately unable to play right now. And so they're going to see, and maybe he'll have 9 games left when he comes back, assuming this is the last week he's out, to make his case, and maybe it clicks eventually, but so far not good.
Yeah. One last question for you, Sim. Appreciate you, by the way. I want to ask the offensive line issues. Right tackle's been kind of been tough for
That's
you guys.
Pretty much it, brother.
Yep. So give me your thoughts on just the offensive line matchup with some of the interior guys for the Lions, because Aleem McNeil is going to be counted on heavy. They have DJ Reader, even though they don't have Aiden. So kind of your thoughts on that matchup, and then also your score prediction. Sure.
Long term on this offensive line, I think that they genuinely have answers at 4 of the 5 positions. J.C. Latham, the first round rookie, looked really good. Really, I have no concerns about him long term. On and off the field, he's been great. I think he's going to continue to develop. I think he's going to be a left tackle option for this team for the foreseeable future, which is a huge deal. Left guard, you've got Peter Skoronski, former first round pick. He is somebody that I almost love. I was talking to some coaches a couple of days ago about him, and he is 95% of the game he is everything in a bag of chips, and then 5% of the game you're like, why is this god athlete on his butt? So I think he'll eventually figure it out, and him and Latham over there on the left side, I ultimately not super concerned about long term. Skoronski just needs to be more consistent. They went and they paid for the highest paid, in my opinion, best center option on the free agent market this offseason in Lloyd Cushenberry. He has been fine. He has not super impressed me. He has not disappointed me. He has just been fine. I think that there is a ceiling for him to continue to get better. We'll see if that is achieved. And then at right guard, they have been playing Dylan Radins, who was a second-round pick from a couple of seasons ago, was a tackle in college, but they've been playing him inside for most of his NFL career. And I think they have something in him as a guard. He wasn't drafted to be a guard, so that's a disappointment, I guess. But again, from left tackle to right guard, you're set up. And then there's right tackle. And that is a nightmare. It's Chernobyl over there. It's awful. It's super duper bad. The Lions are going to kill whoever is playing over there all day long. They have 3 guys they've been kind of rotating. One got word today that he's probably headed to IR, so maybe it's down to 2 options. Nicholas Petit-Frere is the guy that played most of last game because the guy that they were playing got hurt on the 4th snap of the game. He came in, was the starter to begin the year. They benched him because he is maybe the weakest 300-pound man on the planet. He has his anchor doesn't exist. It's really frustrating, and I know talking to coaches, they're very frustrated because he has the physical ability, but I don't know, mentally his anchor, he can't play not on his heels. And so whoever the Lions line up against him is going to bull rush the crap out of him, and it's going to be successful, and it's going to be a problem for the Titans offensive operation there. So that's the situation with the offensive line. Score prediction, the line all week, it's been 11, 12 and a half, somewhere in that range. I don't know what off the top of my head, I've not looked at the total, but I'd imagine it's somewhere in the mid 40s, maybe 44, 45, something like that. Man, I certainly like the Lions to cover in this game.
I I love the honesty here, Easton.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just it is what it is, and listen, I'm divulging too much, but frankly, I don't care. I've had conversation like all Titans fans see this as a nightmare game. Anybody that knows ball just generally and have watched the games, have watched the tape, know this is a nightmare matchup for the Titans. Not just from the fact that one team good, one team bad, but like the just matchups make, styles make fights kind of deal. Even if they were relatively evenly matched teams, generally, I still think the way that the Lions play ball is a bad situation for the Titans, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, and I've had some private conversations this week where it's like, even internally, this is seen as a nightmare situation. So, I'll say Lions win. I mean, I think it'll look a lot like the Titans and the Bills last week. I'll say Lions win like 35-14, something like that.
Give me that. Give me that.
Yeah.
Relatively sweat-free day for the Lions. You'll get to see a little volunteer legend Hendon Hooker play in this game, perhaps.
Wow.
I think it'll be one of those.
Wow.
You know what? Yeah, you got a lot of grit, Easton. You're covering a bad team. I got a lot of respect because we obviously the Lions just started being good. So
Sure.
I still have respect for the local beat writers, but people that have been covering this team while they were shit. You're doing great work, my friend, and I appreciate you for joining the show, man. You guys can follow Easton on X at Easton Freeze. Check out his stuff. I'm sure he'll be tweeting a lot this week up until the game. Find out more information. But good luck this week, Easton, and I appreciate you, my guy.
Anytime, fellas. It was a pleasure.
There you go.
Appreciate it, Easton.
Check him out. Easton Freeze, doing some great work from the car. Being honest.
That was I think the most honest. We've had a lot of beat writers on the show, a lot of beat reporters, writers. That was the most honest one. Easton's great. Like that, he is elite at his job. I mean, he has inside information. He's telling us, inside the Titans building, that they're even like, yeah, this is a tough week for the boys, man. Like, oh, here we go. That's tough, man. Like, wow.
Isn't it feel good to like be on this side, fellas? Like, I'm serious. Like, I know, like, remember, I mean, even 2 years ago, when the 1-6 stretch, or like, just to think about them facing, what was that? The Bengals they faced that year and got slaughtered. I mean, there's games where you're sitting there going, yeah, like we're fucked. Like you just
were like went on the road to LA versus the Rams, and you just knew it was gonna be a painful game, and they decided to keep it close with like a 70-yard DeAndre Swift screen to get you entertained. It's like it's all for nothing. It's for nothing.
By the way, we get it. We get it.
Shout out to him, the time difference thing. When you guys when that all happened, just when all that just happened, I remember last year. Quick story time with Booner. I had found a way to get, I think you guys know, I think Jeff, actually after the show we went to dinner and I was sitting with you. I had gotten Adam Rank for Woodward Nights. It was all good, all set, all booked up. I didn't know there was a 3 or 4 hour time difference to LA. I had no clue.
Bro, you are kidding me.
Or 2 hour, whatever the time difference was. So and honestly, if there's people that are watching us right now that watch Woodward Nights, there was like a night where I was like, hey, Adam Rank's coming on, we got him, and he just never showed up. We had gone to dinner, like it was supposed to be like 8:30 or something, or 8:15, and I said, hey, yeah, let's do it. We left the show, didn't come on. I was like, I guess he's not coming on. Like the commercials was telling bro, like, yeah, he's not responding. He is not coming on. I don't know what to do. I sent him the link. That man texted me. Adam Rank had his number. He texted me. Are you guys ready? Like I'm ready to join. Like, can you give me the link again or something? I'm just out at dinner at like 10:45 in Royal Oak. Like, oh no. I'm just sitting there like, I don't know what to tell him. And I texted him and explained it to him, and he was cool with it. But it was just like I had booked a big guest, dude. Adam Rank, like as much as we all hate him, dude's on NFL Network. He's big time get. And I just
hey, we'll get him on.
That was a tough one. That was a tough one. I'll shoot him a text maybe the next couple of weeks for the Bears week. Maybe we can get him on. I haven't texted him since then. I texted him back. He responded. I was like, oh, you're all good. Haven't texted him since. So I don't know if he remembers me or not.
Yeah. The LA thing. That's hilarious. And
big miss by me, man.
And by the way, don't forget.
Booner thing.
Don't forget, Adam Rank had the Bears winning the NFC North at 12-5. Remember that?
Yeah, last year he did, I think. Yeah,
he does every year. I'm pretty sure he does every year.
It's like his bit at this point.
Yeah, we'll We'll address that. We'll have him on. It'll be a good conversation when they play the Bears. Yeah. Hey, very different chat reaction from last week. I'll just say that. Very different chat reaction from last week. My guy Tyler Fornes came on, got ripped up. We got to
get him back again later on in the season
for the next Vikings game.
It's like a wrestling like WWE shit. He comes out like fog and it comes out. Everyone's booing him.
It's like the UFC card you can see in 2 months. You're like, oh, that's gonna be a fire ass card. Like you can't. Like there's the cards before they're gonna be solid, but you got that one card that you just like, yeah, we're tuning in for that one. You're going out to the bar.
No, it's like it's gonna be a high scoring game. Actually, I'll tell you what, it will not be. It's gonna be a low scoring affair. Yeah, the Vikings are gonna win this game by 1 million, and it's gonna be very low scoring.
I told him the North was good, and he was like, I don't think so. And I'm like,
let me tell you why it's not good, Jeff.
You know what? You're right, Tyler. You're right. No, he's a good dude. I love it because he was just he was cut and dry. Like he was right to the point. Like, no, Vikings are great. Lions are gonna have trouble. I can't wait when we have him back on and be like, hey guys, like later in the year, the Lions are winning. So all right. Let's get to my impact players of the week here. All right, I got 3 guys every single week. I tell you guys who I think will have a significant impact. By the way, last week I had Brian Branch on there. All right, I had Brian Branch on that list last week, and he did pretty good. I had Amon-Ra St. Brown on it last week as well, and he made some plays. And then I had Aleem McNeil, which it wasn't the type of impact I thought, but still he was fine. But Amon-Ra and Brian, I was 2 of 3. All right, just safely, I was 2 of 3. This week, you're going to like this one, Klotzy. You're going to like this one. Let me get the music on because we got to get the music on while I'm doing this. I think you're going to like who I got on this list. I think you're going to be a fan of it. Because you know what? Not saying it was hard for me to do this, but I thought to myself, I can't avoid it.
Just got to face the facts. Face the noise.
And that guy is Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay. That guy's Jahmyr Gibbs. This week, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's coming back. He's going to have another one. He's going to have another big game, especially in the passing game. Okay? And I'm with you, Klotzy, on your take you had yesterday. Who will benefit? I think with this defensive line the Titans have, plenty of opportunity. You still have a banged-up Montgomery. Even though he's going to play, he's not completely 100%. I mean, no one really is. But I think Jahmyr, coming off the game he had last week, a lot of confidence, and I think it'll carry over into this game. I see Jahmyr going out there and talking about all-purpose yards, having a pretty big game. That's how I see it going down, fellas. Jahmyr Gibbs, watch out for him against the Tennessee Titans, especially if they have a big lead. They're going to run the ball. And this dude right here, 2'6", he's going to make some plays. So Jahmyr Gibbs is the first one. Now, for the second one, he's coming back. He's going to get back in the interception column. That is Kirby Joseph. I think
it.
You got a quarterback who is going to turn the ball over. That's just how it is. Will Levis does. Mason Rudolph does. He's not going to know what hit him. Okay, he's not Sam Darnold, but he's going to be seeing goes this week. I know he will. In this secondary, this is an opportunity here. Like Easton put, these receivers are getting open. The quarterback play's been so bad. And I think Kirby is going to have an opportunity. It's like taking turns. Brian Branch, okay, it's your turn. This week, it's Kirby. I think this week you get an interception from Kirby, and I think he has a pretty big game, making sure no big plays. Not that Mason Rudolph's really capable, but Kirby's going to shut it down. So Kirby Joseph is my other impact player. I see an interception this week. There's no way around it. So if you want to sprinkle some money on it, go ahead. I think it's going to hit. My last player I have on here is someone that I think will have a big game, and we're running it back with Aleem McNeil. All right, we're running it back. All right, hey, last week I had him on there, and he had a fine game, but this week we are running it back because I did some research, and the reason why I asked Easton the questions about the offensive line for the Titans is because that interior pass blocking is not great. They're not great. Okay, they're not great. They have some young guys that, like he said, and he even said the Cushenberry signing, the center. He hasn't been great in pass pro either. So they can't run block, not great at pass blocking. I think DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil, especially you got a banged up Josh Paschal. Maybe you see some Houston out there. Maybe they give him one last try before Brad acquires someone. This is an opportunity for Aleem McNeil to go out there and have a big game. Okay, a big game, not just against the run, because I don't think Tony Ballard's going to be able to run the ball at all, but I think he's going to get in the sack column again. And what's worse for a young quarterback, or not a young quarterback, but a quarterback that doesn't play a lot, which is Mason Rudolph. He's more of a backup, getting pressure from the interior, and I think Aleem McNeil is going to help them do that this week. So Aleem McNeil is the third guy. So Jahmyr Gibbs, for obvious reasons. You notice I have two defensive guys, one offensive, because offensively, they're going to just work. Honestly, I could put the entire offense on impact. I could put Tim Patrick on here. I could put Allen Robinson on here. They're going to get whatever they want. Defensively, though, I think that's where the impact comes because they're not going to allow the Tennessee Titans to breathe. Like Easton put, they'll probably put up 14 points at the maximum, and the Lions are going to take care of business on offense. So Jahmyr Gibbs, Kirby Joseph, Aleem McNeil, those three guys are going to have a significant impact this week when it comes to whooping the Tennessee Titans' ass. But those are my three impact players this week.
Don't hit them.
I debated, but those are the three guys. What do you guys think?
I would have liked and this is just me being honest. We're always going to be honest with each other.
Yep,
fellas. I would have liked to see just a lot of all offensive players. I don't think the Titans offense is good enough to be I'm sure Aleem's gonna have a game. These guys should. Anzo, Kirby, Brian Brent, these guys should just have a big game. There should be no question about it. I think to make an impact, this offense has to go out there and dominate their defense. They're gonna win by, we've been saying it all day, all 20 points. But I would like to see D-Mont. Let D-Mont have an impact. You know who I'm shocked you didn't put on there because I think he has a big game with no J-Mo? You should actually. I'm kind of disappointed in you, Jeff, if I'm just being frank.
He's never going to give him credit, Boone.
Sam Laporta.
Oh, I thought you said Tim Patrick.
Sam Laporta. The fact you don't have Sam Laporta on this list this week with no J-Mo, Sam's been on and off. You literally, I think we actually had this conversation yesterday. And you were like, I think you said Sam. But you just took him off the list. You disrespected the fellow Italian.
So let me hold on. And I'm very careful. I had to think about this. I did some research.
Obviously, you didn't think hard enough over there.
Oh, no. I got the data.
All right.
Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans, tight ends don't explode against them. Actually, for fantasy purposes, they allow the least amount of points to tight ends. I think they're second. And then you have a banged up Laporta. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I was in love with that one yesterday. I'll admit, I don't know if I was in love with that one. Can
we see this? Can we put the list back up real quick?
Banged up Sam Laporta, and the Titans don't really allow tight ends to go off against them. I think Laporta could get 40, but huge game. I don't know. I don't. Maybe not this week.
You so do.
No Laporta. I don't see Laporta on the list. Where is he at?
Did you not just hear what I just said? I literally just explained why he's not on the list. And you just brought back up the list.
It's unbelievable. Rod Amon-Ra. You don't think he's going to have an impact?
He was on last week.
So versus defenses, no receivers going to have an impact on this football game? Is that what you're?
There's three. There's three.
I like this list. I didn't think there was a problem with it. I like this list.
This guy's just looking for a fight. That's what he's doing.
Someone's got to be a little pushback. I'm just asking. Do you not think Jared Goff in the pass game is going to be good this week?
I think Jared Goff ends this game with 0 passing yards. That's what I think happens.
You know what I'm saying, brother.
No, that's what I think. I think they run the ball. Jared Goff does not have a single passing yard, and they win the game. That's what I think. No, of course I think they're going to get fucking yards. All right, of course.
I just wanted going into this game when you look at the way the game is going to be played out. They have a better defense. Their offense is terrible. To me, if I would make the list, this is Jeff Iafrate's impact players. I get it.
But the definition is impact players who will make the
the whole defense is about to go off this week. The defense should have 10 sacks on their own versus Mason Rudolph.
And hence why I have 2 defensive players.
Should have put Levi O, or you know what? You should have rolled with your guy, Josh Pascal.
Hey, he's sick this week. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not confident in that one. But yeah, they're actually the best passing defense. They're up there. So I didn't want to put a receiver and be they're going to explode. They will, guys will have to, they're going to be productive. But in terms of taking advantage of matchups, that's why I put those guys.
If you were going to say a player that needs to break, I probably would go a receiver based off of that. But
if I said a player that must have an impact, if I did a must have an impact, I would go Laporta. But like realistically,
love that.
These are guys that I think will have an impact. Like I don't know with Laporte. I was a little shaky. I didn't put him on there. A little shaky.
I do like the Gibbs pick. I think that's sharp because I think a lot of people are kind of thinking Gibbs last week, Monty this week. I think Gibbs is the hot hand. I think they're going to feed him this week. Monty's still going to get his, but I could see another 120, 130 all-purpose yard game for Gibbs. I like that one. And they're going to be winning the entire game. They're going to be running the fucking ball, and I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Gibbs.
Yeah, Klotz influenced that one. Klotz, give credit to you.
I'll take overs.
Especially we talk about how good the Tennessee Titans, as far as not how good they are. I think it's a little skewed because of the game flow. They're trailing a lot in games, so the offense got to take more shots. Other teams going to be running the ball. They don't give up that many big plays. Obviously, you're going to miss that with J-Mo, so that's the whole reason why I think Jameer is going to be one of the guys that benefits the most throughout these two games without J-Mo being there, because he's the guy that can get you big plays. Can Amon-Ra, can Leaf, can Tim Patrick? Yes, they can. But if you're asking a guy, hey, we need to get a chunk yards play, you're going with Jameer Gibbs. And I think against this defensive front and this offensive line, there's definitely going to be areas where Jameer Gibbs can make some plays.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, fellas. I'm glad how you thought about my list. We'll see. That was 2 of 3 last week, so we're picking up some steam here. Hopefully, we can be 3 of 3 this week. All right, Booner, we getting to we doing this or that?
Hey, no, brother, you got to follow the prep here, brother. You've got to. We've got prep. I'm not ready for none of that.
All right. My bad. All right.
It is your bet.
Right.
Hey, when Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell put down a game plan for a Sunday,
that's fine.
And they have a Klotz, you played football at a higher level. You have scripted drives. You have all of that. You don't move off a scripted drive. You don't change things.
Okay.
Up.
You know what? Hey,
I'm gonna lock it over.
Chemistry issue here, boys.
Yeah, this is tough.
Damn,
Jeff's over here playing a little J-Mo. He's telling guests Eastern time was supposed to be Central time. He's trying to move things around.
You have had a tough day. This is a tough performance.
I've no tough day. I've been fine. All right, I've been fine. Told the guests the wrong time. All right.
I mean, you're playing like Tyrese Halliburton tonight.
Got the air horns going as he enters the stream. The air horns going.
The man's putting up Tyrese Halliburton stat line versus the Pistons right now. This is a disaster. You're getting some buckets though, like that. Hey, the impact players, man, you just hit a 3. That was great. That was unbelievable.
Apparently not. Apparently you hated all of them. So I thought I did pretty good.
You did hate all of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Caleb.
Right, that's fair. You started off great. If I give you the 3, you're 1 for 8, and then you just tried to do this or that. Now you're 1 for 9 again. It's Devin Yee. Klotz played at Michigan State University. He was a corner.
Actually, at corner, no, I do not. I would hate playing corner in the Big Ten. Go Gons, baby.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay, we'll get to that 9:30. We'll do this, but this is what we're gonna do. I want to talk about what we could talk about this. I guess it is 9:08, but whatever. Defensive line. Have a conversation here. Well, at what point do you guys start to panic a little bit if no moves made, like in the next 2 weeks? Because the deadline's in a couple of weeks here. So when do you expect a move to be made? Maybe the significance of that move, and then how you feel about that said move. But when's the time to really say, all right, Brad, what are we doing?
I mean, I'll start because I know Booner's probably going to be on the opposite side of it. I'm already panicking because I already see because I think it is not a lock to say that Brad Holmes will make a move. I think there's also a good chance that Brad stays in-house. He's like, we got enough to get there. But I think even just the fact that Aiden Hutchinson got hurt, and even bringing a guy like Zarius Smith, that does make me a little panicked. I love this offense, but it just goes back to the point of the Detroit Lions want to win a Super Bowl. You have to have a great pass rush. Not even great, but at least good. And right now, I think if you add Zarius Smith, it makes it average. And so when it looks at the defensive line, I still like the secondary line. I still like the linebacking core. But consistently, you see that the teams that win Super Bowls have very good defensive lines, or at least ones that can create a lot of pressure. And right now, even by adding Zarius Smith, I think that you can win the number 1 seed in the NFC. I think you make a push in the playoffs. But when it comes down to the big game that you're going up against good offensive coordinator, good quarterback, good running back with weapons, this defensive line still scares me. So I think this Lions team is still the best in the NFC, but talking about winning a Super Bowl, I'm definitely panicked already.
All right, Klotz. All right, Klotz. You were panicked probably 6 months ago. To be honest, honestly, dude, you were panicked after the loss. Jeff was panicked after the.
You know what I was panicked about this defensive line when I picked up my phone in like mid-April and I see breaking news: Lions have signed Marcus Davenport to a 1-year, $6 million deal, and I was like, oh, That's who's going to be holding it down on the opposite side of Hutch. That's right. Like, okay, this defensive line could be a problem. He goes down. I'm like,
he went down.
Defensive player of the year.
Everyone went down.
Defensive player of the year now is gone. John Kaminsky gone. Like that. Not only have they lost their starters, but they lost the depth behind the starters if something were to happen to them. So, like I said, like the Lions, I can't look at that defensive line and be confident.
All right, I'll say this. This is where I'm at with it. And I get what you're saying, Klotzy, because there is going to be a point, at least for me, and I'm sure every single Lions fans, where there is a panic button that gets hit. And this is where I'm going to go with it. You could be panicked right now, Klotzy. This is where I think Brad Holmes' mind has gone to over the last 2 weeks. He's looked at the schedule, and he's already had conversations with teams. And I'm sure he's talked to teams about Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Landry, Zadarius Smith, all these players that we have been talking about. I'm sure he's had conversations with GMs and coaches and agents. Now, I think Brad looked at the schedule and went, all right, we have the Vikings game. As soon as the Dallas thing happened with Hutch, he goes, all right, we have Vikings. Let's see what we can do with that and get through that game. And then he said, we have this Tennessee team where they have the worst offense in the NFL. Like, do we need to push and just go out there and throw picks out there for them to be ready, someone to be ready for the Titans game? No. Now, this is where I'm going to go. On November 5th, I believe it's the 4th or the 5th. It's that Tuesday after the Packers game. That is the trade deadline. I personally would like Dan Campbell. And when I was going through the prep, Jeff, the reason I actually put this on there is because I thought of this. I would like Brad and them to go make a trade by next Tuesday. Like, once this Titans game's over, you have Monday and Tuesday to go get someone. Because I don't want to go into Green Bay versus a mobile Jordan Love and a Jordan Love that can sling the ball around. Yep. I do not want to go into Lambeau Field with potentially Josh Pascal and Levi O and essentially no one else behind them. I want to go in there with a Max Crosby, a Myles Garrett, a Zadarius Smith. I want to go in there with someone else besides what we have. Like, that is a big game. I've said it all week already. If you win that Green Bay game on the road, you have set yourself up to have full control of the division, and you still have opportunities to where, not opportunities, but you have leeway to where you could step up a little bit because you just beat those two teams on the road. Like, you just won 2 out of the 3 away games in the division versus the 2 best teams outside of you in the division. So, to me, I think next Tuesday, if it comes to midnight on Tuesday or you wake up Wednesday morning and get to noon, most likely, I've said it before, during the season, these trades get done Monday, Tuesday, and then early Wednesday, so players can be ready to play by Sunday if they need to. You need to, like, you need to get a deal done by then. That's my thing. Now, I will say, I wouldn't be shocked if there's no deal done and Brad goes, we want to wait till the trade deadline so we're not, like, we can get the best deal possible, and we can kind of use leverage and we can leverage things up. You guys know how the trade deadline works. That's the craziest day of the year, essentially, during the season when it comes to stuff. Yeah. Like, people are using leverage. They're calling different guys. Max Crosby potentially. Imagine if they lost next week and then the week after they lost and then the trade deadline is in 2 days. Brad probably doesn't want to make a move too early. And then the trade deadline comes around and there's another opportunity and he's like, oh, we already made this move. Like, he doesn't want to get stuck in that situation. I just think, like, going into Green Bay, if you have a close deal with one of these major pass rushers and you know that you might do it the next week, just do it before. Like, just do it so you can go get that win in Green Bay and solidify that win. Like, you're going up against a really good quarterback in Jordan Love. So I think after Tuesday next week, Klotzy, I'm a week behind you. I'm a week ahead of you. Give me one more week. Wednesday afternoon, like Wednesday, if there's no deal that's made, I'm going to be sitting there and go, oh, this is going to be interesting. Like, this is going to be interesting because one of two things can happen. One, that means Brad's waiting until next week and you have to go into Green Bay without a pass rush. And two, guess what, boys? Anything could happen. The players that you thought that Brad was going to trade for, if you wait all the way to the end of the trade deadline, guess what? The Eagles will trade for him. The 49ers will trade for him. Some other team. The Bears will trade for him. And that's when you start getting into that, hey, if you don't do it, someone else is going to be in that conversation and cut you off to get the guy that you want. So that's where I think there's a couple things there getting to the trade deadline. But I would love a deal to be done by next Tuesday, end of day. I would love that.
What do you think, Caleb?
Yeah. Boone, I'm right there with you. Obviously, I would have liked someone this week for the Tennessee game, but we didn't really need them. Yeah, it's next week, middle of the week next week for me, where I'm like, okay, what is going on? Why is there no move being made right now? You want someone to go in there and get after Jordan Love, because right now I don't think the guys we have are going to get it done for you. And right after Green Bay, it's Houston, and all these wins matter when you're going for the number 1 seed in the NFC North. And look, I know it was a big game, a big win last week, but I don't know how sustainable Josh Pascal and these other guys are to continue winning you ball games. And the offense is going to win you ball games by themselves, but you're going to need a defensive line. And it's the middle of next week where it's like you got to go get someone, especially before the Packers game. Like Boone said, Tuesday, Wednesday is when I'm going to hit not the panic button, but like okay, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So yeah, like Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, last year, DPJ, that trade happened October 31st. So that would be, 7 days away? So next Thursday I guess if you compare it to last year. So I think Brad Holmes, his timeline, probably in the next week or so. Obviously, the deadline's November 5th, so it's the Tuesday after the Packers game. Before the Packers game is probably likely. Brad's already calling teams, and I think the biggest point here, and the reason why you should be fans should be a little patient is because the later you wait, like you said. And by the way, Steven, correction there. Yeah, extra week on the deadline. That's on me. But you get the point. The point of waiting closer to the deadline is you get these teams start to figure out what they are. Unless you have a team that already stinks and they know what they are. But you're going to get teams that kind of at this point are still like in denial. Give it another game. Teams will start to fall into place and be like, okay, we have to get rid of this player. We have to trade this player, and you'll get a better deal. Because everyone knows the Lions need a pass rush. Like Brad's going to have to pay, not overpay, but teams are going to use that against Brad. The closer you wait to the deadline, Brad has more leverage. Even though they do need an edge, but he can be like, well, you want to trade the player, and if you want to trade him, here's what I have. So I think next week's a fair expectation. I think next week is a fair expectation that a deal gets done because the amount of phone calls Brad's already made this week, like he's already been so active, at least having conversations, early conversations. I think those conversations start to turn into real negotiations next week, and you'll get a deal done. And I do think it'll be Zadarius Smith. I think that deal gets done next week because you're going to have a Browns team this week that rolls out. We'll see what they look like. Newsflash, they're probably going to lose. And then the following week is when you get Zadarius Smith. Because, by the way, Deshaun Watson's cap hit next year is like dead money, $70 million. It's insane. Dead on the cap.
No wonder those coaches and that whole franchise is dying on the Deshaun Watson hill. Like they refuse to give up. Like obviously he just had the Achilles injury, but like before that they were like, "Are you going to put in someone else? Like he's playing so bad." And their head coach, like Stefanski's, like, "No, we're with Deshaun." It's like, yeah, because he has a $70 million cap hit next year. Like you have no way out of this. So he's going to come back from an injury and have to play.
I think they'd have to even they need a lot, but they need to draft a quarterback eventually. Like you're not winning games with Deshaun Watson. You just got to take the L. Yeah,
well, you can't bench a guy. You're at $70 million, you know what I mean, dead cap. So you're kind of there's so
you can. If you want to win games, you can. Find a way.
I mean, yeah, I guess
rookie contract.
Yeah,
trade. I don't know. Can you trade? I don't know. No one wants to take that contract. I'm sure.
No, you're
you would have to give up first round picks to trade that contract.
Honestly, yeah.
They don't have picks and they gave it up to get him.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I'll say this, Klotz, you made an interesting point. What if Brad Holmes, because moves like Isaiah Thomas, that's not making a move.
Yeah.
What if Brad Holmes just makes one more of those type of moves and doesn't go out and get like a Zadarius Smith or a player like that? How are you guys feeling if the trade deadline comes and he goes out and gets like I don't even know, like a player a little better than Isaiah Thomas, but not Zadarius Smith.
Like a Jag.
He doesn't go get a top guy. Yeah.
A Jag.
Like
just a
they
guy.
bring back Kerry Hyder. Let's say they bring back Kerry Hyder. Kerry Hyder just had 4 sacks. Let's use him. It would kind of like, even with Zadarius Smith, I think Zadarius Smith definitely gives them more of a chance to win a Super Bowl. But I think, trying to think of like a player, like if you were to bring in like a Zadarius Smith, I think the Lions make the Super Bowl, put up a good fight, but I ultimately don't think they'd win that game. You don't bring in a Zadarius Smith.
Losers mentality.
I think there's a very good chance that like the Lions could make the Super Bowl, but there's also a very good chance it's a repeat of last season where it's just you lose in the NFC Championship game, because at some point that snakehead is going to come up and bite you in the ass when you're least expecting it. Like Lions could have full momentum, but there will be some point during the season when you're playing a good team and it matters the most that you're not either going to be able to put pressure on the quarterback, or teams are now going to be able to start running the ball on you, because I think defensive end is the most important position on the defense, period.
Yeah.
And if that's your biggest weakness, that's an issue. So it has to be addressed. Darius Smith, like I said, it brings your defensive line back to average because you have Lee McNeil and DJ Reader who are very good. But as far as getting after the quarterback, that's the most important thing to do when you're on defense. They won't be able to do it against elite quarterbacks. So it's good. That would definitely be like, okay, like my opinion.
I think if you're able, I've been on this the whole time. If you're able to patch up this defensive line, like if you're able to get a guy or two on this defensive line that just gets you can get like, you have the best interior. This is where I keep going back to. You have the best interior line duo probably in the NFL. If not one of the best, probably the best. Your corners are starting to come into place. You have one of the best linebacker crews in the NFL. If you could talk top to bottom with Rodrigo and now with Ben Neiman and Trevor Nowatzki, like and Anzo and Jack, and then you have the best safety duo in the NFL. So for me, there's more so to where it's like, okay, if you end up with Zadarius Smith, or you go get Jadeveon Clowney, or you go get maybe an average guy or two, I think if you have those two guys, say you bring in two guys they'll go get you 6 or 7 sacks, and you just patch this thing up, and you have Levi O, and you have Josh Pascal, and you have Isaac Ukwu, and you can move guys around, Mekhi Wingo, that you can move guys around. I think AG's able to patch this thing up to where if you give him a couple more pieces that is able to kind of just get some sort of pass rush, just a little bit more than what you had in Vikings. Like Minnesota, you had nothing. If you could just get a pass rush, it doesn't have to be a hutch one. I think this team is still able to win the Super Bowl. Like I think AG is able to put a scheme around with the players that you have back there. Like if he comes back, you're able to find a way to get him in the backfield. Brian Branch, we saw it last week. Like Anzo, like those guys, like they're going to be rushing the quarterback. Like I think AG will be able to find a way, especially come playoff time, when it comes to say you have the 1 seed and you just have to win 2 games to get to a Super Bowl. Like I have so much faith that AG is able to do that. And then on the other side of the ball, you have the best offense in the NFL. Like your offense will keep you in every single one of those games. It just comes down to, hey, can AG scheme this up? And like now you have Zadarius Smith and one other player. Is he able to use those guys? And it turns into just like it was on the opposite side of Hutch. Except both sides is a rotation now, and you're rotating pass rushers, and you have 4 or 5, maybe 6. The commish will be back for the playoffs potentially. Like now in the playoffs, you add in the commish, and now you have a decent rotation. You don't have a star like Myles Garrett or Max Crosby or Hutch, but you have a legit rotation. And as they keep playing together, they're going to get a better feel, and they're going to whatever the scheme is that AG puts together. They're going to be like, all right, we have this thing down now. Like we know what we need to do to be able to stop a quarterback. It'll take a little bit. Like you saw it last week. Like Sam Darnold had forever in the pocket, but eventually, like they'll figure this thing out. I don't think it's a dead horse. And like, if you just get an average guy, now if you don't get anyone, like, hey, we're going to be in for a treat all season long, boys. It's going to be a grind. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. My biggest thing, it's not the NFC as much. Like I think they can they're going to beat anyone in the NFC. I mean, they just are. Now there's always, upsets and stuff. Like anything can happen. I get all that, but I'm pretty confident that they're, like Easton said, class of their own. But we're not talking about the NFC. We're talking about Baltimore or Kansas City if they figure it out on offense. I mean, they seem to be winning anyway, but you get the point.
If you get to that game though, Jeff, like I do feel like if you added a piece or two and it's not a big major piece, I think they could get this thing where you have a by committee pass rush on the edge, especially with the guys you have behind them. I feel like there's an opportunity.
Yeah, I don't deny that it's possible. I just have to see it. That's
fair.
I have not seen it. Like last week, they had as many pressures as Aiden has by himself. Like I just got to see more of it. I
agree.
I think to say something like that, you're basing it on more like faith in AG. Like I just want to see them improve on the defensive line, and then I can have more of be like, okay, they can figure it out.
I match up with Jeff on this just because I think just when you look at all the great secondaries that end up winning Super Bowls, like you think about the Denver Broncos, you think about the Seattle Seahawks. Those are like, and even the New England Patriots when they had Stephon Gilmore. And then you look at the defensive lines that they have. They might have not had Aiden Hutchinson, but they had DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. They had a Michael Bennett and Cliff Averill. Like they've had legit dudes. And I just think that's the counterpoint where it's like your secondary can be great, but if you're letting up yards in the run game more than you'd allow to, and now you're letting up a couple more big plays because the quarterback has more time, I just think when you go up against it, it's just not a situation the Lions will win against the lead offense.
Yeah, I think you got to make a move. Yeah, got to make a move.
I think real quick, I don't know. Look, your offense is really good. Your offense is going to take you places. It took you to the NFC Championship last year, but I don't know this year, if you want to win the Super Bowl, that Band-Aids are going to cut it. You know what I mean? I think you got to go out and get a guy. I do kind of like the idea of like if you go get smaller pieces and make it a rotation, and with all the guys we have right now in house, and then you add a couple mid-tier guys. I get that, but I rather go get a guy like Zadarius Smith or Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, guys like that, just so you have that guy as an edge rusher.
You have a dude, yeah. And Zadarius being like the least you'll be able to get. Now, offensively, guys, the way Jared's been playing, I know, people, a lot of arguments here locally. All right, about the Jared Goff for MVP thing. Where are you guys at with Jared Goff, and how would you rank your top 3 MVP guys right now? Who's your top 3?
I'll let you boys go first, and I'll sit back and enjoy the show, and then you guys know exactly where I'm going with this.
If I had to go number 1 for MVP right now, in my opinion, there's no way it's not Jared Goff. I think when you look at it, he's the quarterback 1 of the best offense in the NFL, and it's not like he's relying on one or the other. He has a great run game, but he's also, when you look at his stretch, it's historical that he's playing at right now. He's on the quarterback, the number 1 seed in the NFC. So I think right now, Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson are the 2 that you pick behind. The reason why I pick Jared Goff is because what do the Lions do? They like to throw the ball a lot more than Baltimore. And when you look at it, I think as a pure quarterback, not as a football player, Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson at throwing the football. And with me, if I'm taking a quarterback, I want a guy who can make the tight window throws. Can Lamar do it from time to time? Yes. But Jared Goff has just done it consistently. There's obviously plays Lamar makes athletically that Jared Goff couldn't even wish of doing. But if I'm taking one guy right now, I'm taking Jared Goff. 2 would be Lamar. And then 3 is Josh Allen for me. Those are my top 3. That's how I look at it. I could see people saying, like, I'm a guy that kind of wants to say Joe Burrow just the way that he's playing. But the Bengals are losing right now. You look at these 3 quarterbacks, they're all winning football games. So I'm not going to throw Joe Burrow in there, but he's balling out. But those are my 3. Josh Allen at 3, Lamar Jackson at 2, and Jared Goff at 1.
Yeah, I hate to be the bad guy here, and I love Jared Goff, but I think right now I'm going to have to go with Lamar. He absolutely fucking balled out on Monday night. 5 touchdown passes. I mean, he balled out. Jared Goff is right there with him, though. But right now I have to say Lamar Jackson. They're 5-2. Good win against Tampa last week. But look, if Jared Goff continues this success and continues to lead the number 1 offense in the NFL, and like I said, when we talked about it on the other show, like it's going to depend where they are at the end of the season. If they're the 1 seed in the NFC, you give it to Jared Goff, and they're the number 1 offense, you give it to Jared Goff. But right now, how has Lamar won 2 in a row? Is that what's happening right now?
No, not 2 in a row, but 2.
Yeah,
he would go back to back with this one.
Yeah, Lamar's my number 1. Then I'd go Jared Goff right below him.
Jeff?
Real quick before we get into it, because I just want to pick your guys' brains on this. Where do you see the MVP leader when it comes to like the Lamar, Derrick Henry? Like, do you think it's clearly like Lamar over Derrick Henry, or would you give Derrick Henry kind of like, he's creeping up, like he's top 5 MVP wise?
No, go on, Caleb. You're good.
I was just gonna say I don't think we'll see a running back win in a long time. I think Derrick Henry is the obvious leader for Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
But I don't know if Derrick Henry will get an MVP vote. He should, because he's still really good. And I was a guy saying that I think that move isn't a needle mover for the Ravens, which it absolutely turned out to be. But yeah, I don't know if he'll get MVP votes, but he's definitely in the lead for Offensive Player of the Year.
So
what's your list, Jeff?
So this is where I'm going with it. And it's tough. This is tough. I think the race right now, it's you gotta have, and then there's no order, but these are the names: Lamar Jackson, Jarrett, and Josh Allen. You need those 3 in there. I think at this point, I would agree with Caleb. I think Lamar Jackson's 1. I do. Because I mean, Lamar Jackson as a passer, that's what's really blowing me away. I mean, he's top 5 in passing yards, 2nd in passing touchdowns, 2nd in QBR. Oh, and by the way, I didn't even add in, he has as many rushing yards almost as Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, this dude, and I get the Derrick Henry thing, but like, we can do that supporting cast thing with a lot of quarterbacks. So I get the Derrick Henry thing, I do. But the way Lamar's playing, I mean, they're 5-2, I believe. 5-2.
Yeah, 5 straight.
Yeah, 5 straight. Like I'm leaning Lamar. I know it's like back to back, and people are sometimes like, well, you're gonna give it to him again. Yeah, like I mean, the way he's playing, I can't deny how great he's been. I'm gonna go with him at 1. 2, I'm going to go with Jared Goff because of the record setting. Because the dude's putting the passer rating is impressive. I mean, he's putting up the historic passer rating stretch here where he's barely having any incompletions. And then I'd put Josh Allen 3. And the reason why I would put Josh Allen 3 is because of the game against the Texans. That was like one of the worst games. It's probably one of the worst in his career. Like that was rough. And I think that immediately puts him at 3, even though he has like no interceptions, 15 total touchdowns, whatever it is. And he's number 1 in QBR. I get all that. But that performance single-handedly puts him at 3. So Lamar, Jared, and then Josh Allen. That's how I would go.
All right.
Boone?
First of all, before I go, I want to say hi to Spenmo Rex.
Shout out Spenny.
Love Spenny. Now.
The Knicks suck dick.
That's hilarious. All right, fellas.
Guy's a Knicks.
Let's hear it, Boone.
We know there's only one right guy in this room. His name is Booner. At number 1 for the MVP rankings on this season so far. At quarterback, Lamar Jackson, boys.
Wow.
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I know everyone wanted me to say Jared Goff. Listen, I might be a slappy. I might be the Kool-Aid drinking guy. I also, and I say this all the time, I'm a realist. I want to be real. I don't want to lie to the people if I don't have to. Sometimes we have to lie to the people. I do it sometimes. You guys probably know when I do it, and you guys call me out. But this time, Lamar Jackson's on track for 1,100 yards. He is having an incredible run so far. I will say this, though, guys. Jared Goff, I have him number 2. I think it's 1-2. And I think it's right now, I think for the rest of the season, I don't see it changing at all. I think it's a 3-man race for MVP. I think it's Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, and Josh Allen. If I had to pick a guy, and if I was going to bet on someone right now to win MVP, you get the best odds. Number 1, you get the best odds on Jared Goff. But number 2, you could probably argue and look at the Ravens' schedule, and I'm sure they have a tough schedule, and Lamar can go out there. Actually, now that I look at it, they don't really have the toughest schedule. Yeah. They play the Browns, Broncos, Bengals, Steelers, Chargers, Eagles, Giants. Yeah, it's nothing crazy. But if you go to the Detroit Lions schedule, guys, and Klotz, I've had this conversation with you, and I've brought this up a lot. When I made the prediction that Jared Goff was going to be an MVP finalist back in June, one thing that I looked at and I said, hey, what is the MVP? It was the same reason why in way back then I said Hutch is going to be Defensive Player of the Year. When you see the schedule and you start saying these awards, guys, yeah, they're numbers. You have to put numbers up. Sometimes these awards are narratives, and like how is media handling these things? And with a guy like Jared Goff, I said this from the jump when I made the prediction. He is going to be in a position down the stretch. You're looking at this next after this Tennessee game. You're looking at the stretch of football of Green Bay and Houston. Probably 2 primetime games. Yeah, 4:25, America's Game of the Week, and then an 8:20 Sunday Night Football game. Back-to-back games versus Green Bay and Houston, where he's going to hopefully have an opportunity to take the Detroit Lions to 7-1 and sit there as the best team in all of the NFL. And if he's playing like he did the last 4 weeks, guess what? After Week 10, Jared Goff is the MVP favorite, and he should be. So go get your bets in now, because after Week 10, if Jared Goff keeps this thing rolling the way he's going, I don't care what Lamar Jackson does. You're looking at a guy that's going into primetime football on the big stage with the best team in football at 7-1. If he's able to pull this off, and you're like, how can you take it away from him? He's playing the best football in the last 4 games. Like, you can't take that away from him. And then even then, like, let's go a step further. What was the narrative I told you guys in the summertime down the stretch? The Detroit Lions fighting for the number 1 seed. Monday Night Football, Week 17. Jared Goff's in the MVP conversation. Prime time. The world's watching. You're playing for the 1 seed. Probably not anymore versus the 49ers, but you're still in primetime football versus the 49ers. MVP. Lock it up. Jared Goff, Week 17 versus San Francisco 49ers.
And another thing, the little toad on that, as far as the narrative builder, Boone, he's going to be doing it without Aiden Hutchinson. So I think if also put a magnifying glass on top of, like, okay, you knew Jared Goff was valuable, but when Aiden Hutchinson went down, like, that was one of, like, the core 4. You talk about Goff, Panay, Amon-Ra, and Hutch. Now that you lost one of those core 4, I think all 3 of those guys become instantly more valuable, and there's not a more valuable player on this team than Jared Goff. And I think, obviously, Lamar is more valuable than Derrick Henry, in my opinion, but I think there'd be more of a conversation where it's like, Lamar, Derrick Henry. I think when you look at this offense, it's no doubt Jared Goff. Like, you're not going to put Amon-Ra, Jameer, David, any of those guys. Great players, but they're not to the level of player of Derrick Henry as of right now. So I think that's another thing that kind of builds Goff case a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in Klotz, I know you picked Goff. I just don't think like it's realistic like to be like Jared Goff's the number one MVP leader right now. Like he's playing great football.
I just think over the last 4 because
I agree with that, but Lamar, what he's done the last 4 weeks as well is insane.
And I think even if you look through the course of the season, I think Goff's had bad stretches, but there's some plays, and this is why I pick Goff over Lamar. There's more times with Lamar where you're just like, what the fuck? Like, Lamar, you're such a good player, but what the fuck was that? We've seen very few, especially over the last 4 games, with Jared Goff, in my opinion. So that's the one reason where Lamar, and it's not saying that Lamar's been playing bad. Like we just said a couple nights ago, Lamar threw 5 touchdown passes. But Jared Goff, just as a quarterback, has been playing and operating at more of an elite level, in my opinion.
All right. I mean, Tyler put his thoughts in here. Appreciate the $2. Tyler says Lamar number 1, 2 Goff early bye affects his stat optics. That is fair too. He's on a bye week.
Yeah, he's played 1 less game than Lamar, so the stats are a little skewed. But like Lamar, though, the thing is like he's thrown 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's ran for almost 500 yards. He's on track for I think 1,200 rushing yards right now, which is unbelievable. And you got to think like that's 1,200 rushing yards he's on track for, with Derrick Henry on track for 2,200 rushing yards. And he's still
on track for 2,200, bro.
I think he's on track for like 2,300 all-purpose yards because he has like 60 receiving. Yeah, but like, dude, he's averaging like 130 yards per game. Derrick Henry is like it's insane what he's doing. And at the same time, like you have a running back doing that, and you're still putting up numbers. Like it's ridiculous what that offense is doing. I mean, I would love, honestly. I know Lions fans might hate it, but imagine just an offensive Super Bowl. This Ravens offense versus Lions offense, that would be one of the most electric Super Bowls of all time. Just 2 offensive teams this year, just going head to head. It'd be like 52-47.
I mean, you'd say Spenny says that what's more likely, Lamar MVP or Henry Offensive Player of the Year?
Henry Offensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I would say. I think he's locked for that. I think that's a running back award.
Yeah, I'm with him. I'm with you there. I just don't know who else would get it.
There's no wide receivers like going crazy right now. Like there's wide receivers having nice years, but it was like we talked about Nico Collins was the number 1 wide receiver in football. And there's not like that Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill on track for 2,000 yards at this point.
Yeah, so. Tua getting hurt, Nico getting hurt. Like it's Derek. I mean, I wonder what the odds are if you look on fan like.
I can look it up real quick. I could just.
He's probably a heavy favorite right now to win it.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, and I'm actually honestly the one thing I'm shocked about is that Patrick Mahomes is the favorite to win MVP.
That's crazy.
It's the narrative thing you were saying, Boone.
I get it. He's probably the best quarterback ever to walk on this earth, and he's always going to be in the conversation. But this year, I get it. They're undefeated, but there's just so many guys more deserving than him. Like the 2 guys we're talking about right now, Lamar and Goff, Josh Allen. There's just no reason Mahomes should be number 1.
If numbers have to matter at some point.
It changed. It changed within the last day. Lamar Jackson plus 225, Patrick Mahomes plus 450. That's on DraftKings though. It could be different on FanDuel or wherever else you guys go. Goff is 4th place plus 850 on DK.
Behind Allen
at plus 500. Yep. And then it's a big drop off to Jordan Love at plus 1,300 and CJ Stroud plus 1,300. And then Offensive Player of the Year, I guess, I don't know why. It should be way. Derrick Henry's only he's plus 100. Saquon's the next one at plus 300. So they think Saquon still has a chance. Jamar's 4th with plus 1,000. Justin Jefferson's 3rd plus 500.
So it's a 2-man race to them.
Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Guess who's 6th in the Offensive Player of the Year?
Kyron Williams.
No, I'll let you guys get a couple guesses here. I want to hear it till you guys get it. Not till you get it, but let me get a couple
guesses. Is he on the Lions?
I'm not saying anything who it is. I'm just going to let you guess.
Give us like an NFC, AFC?
NFC. It's shocking. 6th.
I want to say Jaden Daniels.
It's a skill position, right? It's a skill position.
I'll say this. It's a wide receiver.
Jane Reed?
Nope. 2 more guesses. Spenny said Kirko Chains. That's funny.
A wide receiver? Nobody's really.
Oh, Malik Neighbors?
No. Jeff was on the right track a little bit.
Who did you say, Jeff?
I said
He said
Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed.
I don't know. We give up.
You were on the right track before that when you said, was he on the Lions? It's Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh,
6.
this fucking guy.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is 6 on DK and Offensive Player of the Year.
That is
it goes
terrible.
Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Lamar Jackson, and Amon-Ra, the Sun God St. Brown. Happy
I'll
birthday.
take it.
By the way, happy birthday to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
Yeah, that is big time. I did not expect that. The way he's playing, there's no way in hell.
I was shocked a little bit. I was a little shocked. I was like, whoa.
I was so confident that Malik Neighbors guess you don't understand. I was like, dude,
I thought I cooked with
Malik Neighbors been hurt for like 4 weeks.
Yeah, but he's probably like top 8 and everything.
Dude, Malik's not even in the top 20 on this list.
Yeah. And Jaden Reed's like
David
13
Montgomery's
yards.
above Malik Neighbors.
Is it really? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, we took some shots from deep. I mean,
You guys did. You said, is it the Lions? I didn't want to just if I said yeah, instantly you'd be like, oh, bang. Jameer or Amon-Ra.
I would have said Monty over Amon-Ra. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I said
Monty
Jameer.
is the next Lions player, I think.
There you go.
No, Jameer Gibbs is at plus 4,000.
Jeez. All right. Well, can we do this or that, Boone? I'm asking you permission.
Yeah, let's do a couple Detroit Lions this or that. I have a couple here. First one I want to do. These ones, and if you guys have any this or that's in the chat, throw them in there, and we'll do a couple on the show here. If you have a couple, I see Spenny and those boys are in there. So maybe someone has a couple this or that. First one though, I thought this was an interesting one because I had put it on there, and I asked the boys, "What do you guys have?" And Klotz said the first one he put on there was my main one. First one I did. This or that. Which Detroit Lions wide receiver ends the season with more receiving yards?
Ends the season?
Or
Tim
Khalif-
Patrick or Khalif Raymond. Okay.
And you said this is to end the season, Boone?
for the season. They're both. Khalif, the last couple games picked it up a little bit. He's only, I think, I could pull it up, less than 100 behind right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. I this is where I'm going with this.
It's 165 to 148.
Oh,
So it's like
a lot
less than
closer.
20 behind. So they're like neck and neck.
I think. Man, these are tough.
You know who
I'll
you
go.
wanna pick.
No. I got this. I'm going with Leaf. Give me Leaf. Route running ability. He's cooking. He put Stephon Gilmore on his ass. So give me Khalif Raymond.
This man, Jeff, never wants to give TP17 the proper credit. Look, Tim Patrick's going to be on the field. Booner kind of talked about it yesterday. Like, he has his own role with this team, and I think because of how good he is as a blocker and their lack of depth at the X wide receiver spot, he's going to be talk about whole season-wise. He's going to be on the field a lot more when it comes to Khalif Raymond, especially in passing situations. And he's a guy that you can throw it to a slant route, you can throw him a hitch route, you can throw him a fade when you get out of the pocket, or you can throw him a crosser. He's shown that he can do it all 3 levels. Khalif can, but I mean, Tim Patrick's 6'4", 220-plus pounds. He's just a bigger target. I think Khalif's more athletic. He is a better route runner, but I think just at this point, Tim Patrick has way more of a role for this team and can provide more.
Yeah, I think the safest play here is Tim Patrick. I like Khalif Raymond as a receiver, but I think Tim Patrick is always going to be there at the wide receiver 3, and I think Khalif Raymond's, he only really comes in certain packages. He's a little bit gadgety, but hey, these 2 weeks for Khalif Raymond could be huge. Like he could put up a pretty significant lead on Tim Patrick. But for the rest of the year, I'm gonna go with TP. I'm gonna go with Tim Patrick.
Jeff, what do you think?
Jeff started. He said leave.
I'm literally
Oh,
already
that's on me. That's on me. That's on me.
Having
It's
a rough
on me,
outing,
man.
man.
All right, I apologize. I'm going to go Tim Patrick. I think Tim Patrick ends up. Tim's going to get things going. I think this week's going to be a big week for him. And we've seen already Tim go out there and get 2 or 3 catches for 50, 60 yards. I think you're going to see a couple more of those throughout the season. Next one. Which Detroit Lions linebacker ends the season with more total tackles? As of right now, so either Jack Campbell or Alex Anzalone. Jack Campbell is sitting with 38 total tackles, played 1 more game, but we're going to just sit with the total. And Alex Anzalone has 35. Which Detroit Lions linebacker ends the season with most tackles and leading the team, essentially?
Yeah, I got to go with Enzo. I got to go with the Dago. I got to go with the Italian. Give me Anzalone here. I think, hey, Lucas, you were right. This guy's a fucking menace. I mean, every week, it's more impressive to watch this man tackle. Like I never forget. What was the game we watched where he was everywhere? Was that the Rams game? We had like 13 tackles.
Yeah, like instantly off
the season.
He is a man. He is a man on a mission. All right, give me Anzalone. Not in the year with more tackles.
Yeah, this take is aging like fine wine for my boys. And by the way, Spenny,
don't take a victory lap too early, buddy.
Never run your mouth about Ohio State. Ohio State's the best team in the nation right now, so I don't want to see anything about the Ohio State Buckeyes going on in the chat. When they beat up on little brother, it's going to be great. Well, not even little brother. We'll call little cousin.
You can't even take a victory lap. You can't even take a victory lap. Michigan sucks.
I don't need.
You shouldn't even be excited. You shouldn't even be excited. Michigan this year. You like to be like we're gonna buddy. We're bad. You shouldn't even be able to take a victory lap about this.
We're back. You were gone for 2 decades, Pat.
I said we're bad. I said we're bad.
Oh,
we're BAD bad. When we're good, you can't beat us. But when we're bad, you're like, no. When we become a good football team, however many years it is, you can't touch us. That's a fact. When we're good, you don't touch us. We're bad again, though. That's the problem.
By Bama in the when it wasn't even Bama. Who was it?
We beat Bama, buddy. We just beat Bama
not last year.
Months ago. Yeah, you're talking. Caleb, what do you think over there? Jack or Enzo?
Go Bucks, baby.
Look, I'm gonna go with the young buck. I'm gonna go with Jack Campbell here. Look, Enzo is one of my favorite linebackers in the league. I think he's very underrated going from sideline to sideline. Jack Campbell does struggle a little bit in pass coverage, but he has been good against the run. And yeah, what is it right now, Boone? You said Jack Campbell has like 4 more tackles than Enzo.
38 to 35 right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still gonna go with Jack. I'm gonna go with Jack Campbell here.
You sure you want to stick with that, Caleb? Positive.
Yes. I'm positive. I'm a big Jack Campbell guy. And look, I love Enzo. Like I said, I think he's one of the most underrated linebackers going sideline to sideline. I think that's going to get him a lot of tackles. But Jack Campbell's been playing really well lately. So I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something here, Klotzy. I love Enzo. I'm a big fan of Enzo.
Don't you fucking.
Enzo started the season off with 13 tackles. That put him up pretty far ahead of Jack Campbell. I'll tell you this. Since that 13 tackle game, Enzo has played in 4 games. Out of those four games, Jack Campbell has had the same or more tackles than Alex Anzalone in 3 of those 4 games. So since that injury, since those 4-game stretch, Jack's been getting more tackles in that stretch of football. So I'm going to go Jack Campbell. I think finally we're starting to see Jack fly around a little bit, get more comfortable. And since Enzo's been injured, Jack's been the guy that's been getting out those tackles. So, hey. Give me what does Spenny call him? The meat missile. Give me the meat missile. I do love the Italiano though.
So here's the thing, okay? I was big on Jack Campbell. I still am, but I can't deny. I just the Enzo. Maybe it's the aura. Maybe it's the aura. Maybe it's the hair. I don't know. Maybe he's been. I don't know. I when I watch this man play football. Same with Jack, I get that, but Enzo, yeah, I'm with you, Klotzy. You converted me. I mean, I'm with you, Klotzy. All right, next question. What do you got, Boone?
Your way.
Oh, what are you converting to?
An Enzo truther, believer.
We're converting to the anal zone.
That's unbelievable how fast. Like Jack Campbell's been playing better football over the last few weeks. Just like that, you're just like,
hey, do not say
dude.
that.
Statistically, I just gave you the stats. The last 4 games, Jack Campbell has out tackled.
Have you seen Alex Anzalone in pass coverage over the last 4 weeks?
He's been good. Have you seen Jack Campbell miss a tackle? Have you seen Jack Campbell miss a tackle?
Have you seen Anzalone miss a
tackle?
tackle?
Enzo and Jack Campbell miss tackles, yeah.
To be fair, yeah, I guess they're, yeah, okay, fair. All right, next one. I feel like this is a good one. This or that. This is just an over or under. Can I just do an over under? This is the last one we're going to do because I want to do mailbag for the people tonight. Over under. Elaine McNeil, he's at 2.5 sacks right now. Over under. 7.5 sacks for Elaine McNeil on the season. Over under. Pick one. Can only go up and down. Can't. Nope. Let's hear it.
You can go first on this, Klotzy. You can take this one.
Look, I think Aleem McNeil right now, he's playing good. He had the 2 sacks against the Dallas Cowboys, but I think Aleem McNeil, a lot of his sack production was going to be coming off of the double team, triple team, whatever they're going to do with Aiden Hutchinson. I think Aleem McNeil probably finishes the season with like 5 to 6, but 7.5, I don't think that's possible for him. I shouldn't say I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's likely for him. So Aleem McNeil, I'm going under.
Yeah, I'll go ahead, Jeff.
I hate that. Go on, Caleb. Go on. You think.
I'm going to go under as well. I just think that, with the loss of Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil is going to see a lot more double teams. It's going to be tougher for him to get to the quarterback. Look, he's a great player, but we weren't really asking him to get 8-9 sacks. I'll be happy with 7. That's just under, and I think that's where he'll be is like 6-7.
So I want you guys to go first, so you take the heat. All right, I'm gonna follow it up. I agree with you. I think it's under. Give me, I think about 6-7 sacks from Aleem, probably in that ballpark. Over at this point. I'm gonna stick with under slightly.
All right. You know what?
Just
like Jeff said, I'm gonna let you guys go first. He forgot about me. I'm gonna let all 3 of you guys go first because you all are wrong. All of you guys are wrong. This man only needs 5.5 sacks in the next 11 games to prove me right with no Aiden Hutchinson. And there's going to be another edge rusher that's going to be added and open up a little bit more for him. Aleem McNeil will get 5.5 sacks in the next 11 games. If he stays healthy, he will get a 5.5 sacks. I'm very confident on that. If all 3 of you want to bet me a pizza right now, I'd be down to do it. 1 pizza to your guys is 3.
So you get 3 pizzas?
No, 1 pizza to your guys is 3.
So it's just the 3 of us.
I get you guys a pizza to split, and you guys each get me my own pizza. Because I have to pay for one.
Wait, what? So you get 3 pizzas?
3-to-1 odds, yeah.
I'm good.
It's 3-to-1 odds because 3 of you guys think that it won't happen to my 1.
So if we win, we share a pizza with 3 of us, and if you win, you get 3 pizzas.
Yeah,
right,
hey, Booner, I don't know if that's how that works, probably.
I'll make you guys a deal. I'll get you guys 2 pizzas, but I also get to indulge with you guys, and then you guys each get me 1 pizza.
Look, I think the way it would go is I think it would just be 1-for-1 pizza. You get to eat a whole pizza. We get to split a pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, deal. 5.5 sacks. 8 sacks.
No, wait. 5.5
You
sacks.
said 7.5.
Well, he needs 5.5 more.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So so it has to be 8 though. If it's 7.5, it's just a draw. Nobody gets anything.
Yeah. Draw.
I want to make sure we're clear.
Cracked out, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, my sports book. Hey, it's a tough bargain over here, man.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
I'm way better than Vegas.
Setting 0 parlays in that one.
Yeah. I mean,
And I paid my pizza bet too earlier. I did go get you guys pizza for the last one.
I mean, whose fault is that? All right.
No, yeah, I lost. I don't even remember his name anymore.
Matty Betts.
Matty Betts.
And Isaac Ukwu making the roster, which he got called up later. But
Wait, I think if he gets a sack, I get a pizza though. Right?
Was that a thing? A sack all year? Was that an actual thing? I thought that was the Matty Betts thing. That was Betts.
Betts was the sack.
Yeah,
Okay.
Betts was
You're
the
lucky
sack.
then.
No, I am. I got pizza. I'm having a good time. I'm good, man. I'm chilling. All right. Well, we got
that pizza so bad.
I know.
Any way you can.
I get it. It's honest work.
Pizza was good. And if I win, can I pick the pizza since it's 3 against 1?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I would like a large Brooklyn
so
pizza.
we don't get to pick the pizza, so you
hot
get
honey pepperoni.
Winners just get to pick the pizza. I think that's just how it should be.
This guy was going to get us a pizza, no cheese, nothing on it.
Well, no, I mean, I
waiting to hand us a Red Baron pizza.
I showed up and picked the pizza for you guys last time, and I felt like I picked a really good pizza for you guys.
Yeah,
there you go.
Marco's very fine pizza.
Marco's very under, very.
Yeah, I got Mark. It was Marco's.
Disgusting comment.
I'm sorry, Spenny.
Mushrooms is good.
Yeah, mushrooms is good.
I could do mushrooms. Mushrooms and pepperoni.
Yeah, I mean, the Klotzy's out.
Mushrooms and pepperoni is a good pizza with some
mushrooms
Parmesan.
No.
Yep, it's good.
No,
you got to grow up, Jeff. You got to grow up.
And by the way, too, can people start dropping some mailbag questions?
Who you guys got? Vikings or Rams? Raise the sales ass.
Rams. I've got Rams money line right now. Plus
I
one.
need
felt sharp. Rams money line felt sharp. I'm all over it.
I need 25 yards from Cooper Kupp. So
you'll get it. You'll get it.
Puka's
There'll
having
be
a game, by the way.
The way that Puka's looking right now, the fact that they're just letting him go, like I got the Rams in this one right now. Kyron, Puka, Cup, they're all getting incorporated right now. The Vikings offense outside of that first quarter, they don't have a heartbeat right now. So I'm going to go with the Rams. It'll be close, though. Game will open up. That second quarter was just a punt off.
Yeah.
Real quick, I don't know if you guys talked about it yet. How did you guys feel about that Ernest Jones trade? So they traded for him in the offseason and then just traded him again. You got what did they get for that?
It was Jerome Baker.
You got Jerome Baker. Yeah. I don't know what maybe it was like, I don't know what the contracts look like. They also gave up a fourth. So they also got Jerome Baker and a fourth, I believe. I think the Titans got a fourth.
For Ernest, yeah. Which I don't get the Ernest stuff. Like, is this dude like I don't know. I feel like he's not bad. But they just dump.
Why are teams just shipping him off?
I don't know. I don't know.
Brandon Cooks of linebackers.
Yeah.
Every year he's on a different squad.
Dude got traded twice in 1 year. I mean, I don't know. And Andrew Jones says they got a better draft pick from it. See, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Dude, they are just force feeding the ball to Puka right now.
Steve Lehman says, Mailbag, who's got the best pizza?
Louis Pizza, Hazel Park. Deep dish. It's amazing, man.
Louis Pizza.
I love a good Detroit style deep dish. It's my favorite, dude. Oh my gosh. Like Buddies, when I'm working downtown, just get some Buddies ordered. Oh, it's the best, dude. I would love some pizza recommendations. I would love to go get some.
You know where we have to go? We have to go to Freddy's.
Never been to Freddy's. Yeah, we should hit them up and we should go. We should take a little field trip there.
Yeah, that would be great. That is like probably the GOAT.
Spenny's putting some in there. Spenny, can you text me these? I can save them in my phone and I'll start hitting them.
Franco's 9, Van Dyke. I've never been to Franco's either.
Me either.
You know who doesn't have bad pizza either? Pretty good pizza, Green Lantern. It's not bad.
Green Lantern has good pizza. Yeah, great pizza.
Pizza.
Has anyone ever been to Como's in Ferndale? I think it's Ferndale. Great pizza. They have good pizza there too.
Never had it.
I'm not hip to the Detroit pizza scene, fellas. I've been like to a couple spots, but I can't like remember one by name.
We had Marco's last.
Oh my gosh, Matthew Stafford just threw the worst interception.
Pretty good. Oh, who?
Matthew Stafford just threw the worst interception. It was so bad.
Why did the Vikings just stop running the ball? What happened? I mean, I'm checking. Aaron Jones had like 9 carries in the first quarter.
Offensive flows is not there. They haven't been able to block a soul. Like Darnold's been under a ton of pressure.
Klotz, you want to answer this mailbag question?
Hey, Sticky Ricky. They're playing against those Cowboys. Looks like no Debo. He's got the pneumonia. Brandon Ayuk out for the year. Juwan Jennings might not be playing with the hip injury.
Pearsall show?
Hey, you bet your ass it is. Trayvon Diggs exposed. Deron Bland exposed. When you have Ricky Pearsall in front of your face, there's no way that you can contain that man. Rough opening week. Wasn't expected to get his number called on the way that he did.
He had a good week.
A week to film, a week to prep. This man got shot in the chest. Dallas Cowboys DB8 scaring him.
Mm-hmm. Give your top 3, because I want to hear you guys' top 3 here.
I think New York's got to be one. I think New York style pizza and just New York in general. Like I haven't went to New York City, but I've like got family up in Buffalo and Jersey, and the pizza up there just goes crazy.
It's amazing. Yeah, there's no argument. It's New York. It's New York. Detroit. It's definitely a top 3.
I'm not a fan of Chicago, to be honest.
Chicago. Yeah.
What's that? What's the one? New Haven style.
I've never tried it. Yeah, I've heard it. I mean, that's like supposed to be the best pizza in the world. Never tried it.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be better than New York.
Though. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think my opinion matters a lot. I mean, just look at me. I think my pizza. I think my opinions. They should count. They should count for extra.
Yeah, they.
And I'll say this:
now I want pizza.
Jets pizza is good, man.
Good. Their deep dishes is very good.
Their
it's
barbecue
good.
Chicken pizza. Oh my god.
Yeah, barbecue chicken's not a pizza.
It's amazing. That was my high school job. I worked there. It was awesome.
You don't like barbecue chicken?
Barbecue chicken's not like real pizza. That's just like get some
I get what you're
sauce.
saying, but it's good. It's good.
I mean, I'll have it if it's there. Like if it's like sometimes when we get pizza at my house, like
bro, did you just say barbecue chicken's not real pizza, but you'll put mushrooms on it? Like, what are we doing here?
No, I just say pizza. Like real pizza's like sauce, cheese, and sauce. Like it's not like all this like with the ranch on the pizza. Like, dude, if I ever
chicken bacon ranch pizza, you're not a fan?
I'll only get it. I'll only eat it if like it's ordered. Like if someone else else orders it, I'll eat it. It's obviously not like a bad.
It's kind of how I
am
am with it though.
But it's like I'm not gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna order pizza, and then I'm not even gonna offer it up. Like if I'm not gonna be like, hey, do you guys want barbecue? No, I'm gonna be like, I'm ordering the pizza. We're getting sausage, or we're getting pepperoni, or we're getting this, or we're getting cheese. I love margarita's good, but that's like a real pizza. That's like sauce and cheese.
Yep.
Like that's a real pizza.
Yeah, you make a fair point. It is good. I like
it just a cheese pizza.
But if someone's got barbecue chicken, I'll have a slice. It's not. I wouldn't classify it. I wouldn't order it. Go on my way to order it, but
it's definitely a fake pizza. It's I don't know what you want to call it, but it's not.
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick.
It's like
but I'm all over
pineapples on pizza.
It's a Taysom Hill pizza.
Worse.
What, Jeff? What, man?
Pineapples on pizza. It's fake.
I can't.
Oh, I thought you said great.
This conversation makes my ears bleed.
Fake.
One of my best friends, dude, I took a trip for spring break and we ordered pizza and he wanted pineapple. It almost ruined our whole trip. Like me and him were just going at it the whole time. I'm like, dude, I'm not eating pineapple on the pizza. We ended up settling. We were going at it for like 2 hours. I ended up just settling. Like, why don't we just go half and half, bro? It was like, all right, fair.
Yeah, that's like, hey.
I was dying on that hill. Like, don't put pineapples on my pizza, please.
All right. Hey, we appreciate you all. Great show today, man. Appreciate Easton. Appreciate you all for tuning in, man. We are back. We're monetized again. Can't wait. I mean, the support has been unbelievable. Shout out to Easy and Spenny for being in the chat as well. We'll be back tomorrow. Get your merchandise. Like I'm wearing a little hoodie right now. You can get all your stuff. Booner's got one on.
You can't buy this on the store, though. That's on me.
On the website, we got Run the Ball merch. We're putting out a Real American Beer and Crunch Time collab on the store as well. So that's coming very soon. And you got the Booner Path you can get as well. And I got my hat in the closet, which you can grab. No Ohio State, you can put that away. But what's up,
guys? Speaking of the Run the Ball shirt, the winner to the giveaway announced tomorrow.
There we go.
Make sure to go retweet that. Winner of the giveaway is announced tomorrow to get a free Run the Ball t-shirt. It's a fire t-shirt. I'm gonna get one for myself.
Hold on, don't end the show yet. Don't end the show yet. I'm gonna go put the link in the chat. So if you guys haven't gone and entered the giveaway, you can go enter the giveaway.
There you
Links
go.
in the chat. Go follow Caleb.
All right. Yeah, get the man a follow. Get this man to 1,000, huh? Get this man to 1,000, huh? Come on.
Need it. Come on now.
Yeah. Come on. All right. Hey, you know what? Just like I need Cooper Kupp 25 yards. That's what I need, bad. All right. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Stay blessed.
See you guys.
Peace.